Hey, welcome back to the channel, guys. And lucky for y'all, this one's not a dream. All right, this one is reality. Now, are the three of us gonna make it out this dream that we're in? Maybe, supposedly, I don't know. Maybe, but we're gonna have to find out. But nonetheless, I'm gonna let y'all get into it. You know the usual. Subscribe, comment down below. I will see you guys on the next one. Peace out.
So a quick recap of last time. Let's see. They finished defeating Tenori, the sparrow, with the sicknesses.
I named him officially as the songbird of disease. So
Ooh, that's
write,
cool.
write that in your character sheet.
So the songbird of
He
disease.
said, "Write that down."
And they escaped the sort of convoluted barrier that Tech had set up around the pool, dispelling it and the pool's influence along with it. After that, they left their ally Sakagiri behind to deal with the Jonin that were being used as a sort of a battery for the barrier and the pool. They continued on trying to deal with another pool that day. With Shinikichi, the Uchiha sparrow. They arrived there only to be ambushed by the sparrow leader Tech, who sealed them away. They all failed their charisma saves. And completing his plan of bringing the dragons and the dragon armies into the world. So we're picking up with each of them sort of in different time phases. At different points after Tech completed his plan. The most recent one that we did was about 8 months past when the dragons came, with Arada, unfortunately, not being quick enough to save his main dog, Anatos.
We're gonna talk about that.
And his father sort of mocking him for the display of emotion.
Stab him. Stab him, Arada.
Stab
your father.
Let me tell you, it won't take much more.
Yeah, so when we left off, Tazaga was sort of berating you. You had responded, I think. Tazaga responds back, sort of snorting. He says, "You're not going to let this go, are you, Arada?"
Yeah, Arada doesn't say anything to him. Arada's just deadpan at Dan right now. Just in his broken state.
Okay. You hear Tazaga walking up from behind you. And then everything goes black.
Do I feel like I got hit?
Well, when you wake up, yeah, you will have a very, very sharp ache on your neck.
Cool.
There we are. You wake up in a very large, dark area. There's a single beam of light that's coming down from a small, like, hole in the ceiling. And when I say small hole, I mean like it's like a foot by a foot, not nearly big enough to actually.
I'm not squeezing through. Yeah.
And you see around you massive chains, 4 pillars that are sort of holding up whatever structure this is. You can go ahead and make a history or intelligence check. Well, I guess a history check.
All right. History's not too bad. It's all right. 11. Getting them out now.
You don't recognize this place, but based off of the chains, you assume this place is not really meant to hold humans.
Okay. So yeah, so the chains are kind of like actually relative to Arada right now on the.
Yes.
Okay. Am I like bound or tied up in any way?
No.
All right.
There's a small like blanket next to you. Yeah. You are in plain clothes as well. You sort of pat yourself around and you don't find any of your normal equipment.
I was just gonna ask. Okay, so I am. Do I feel as if I can do any of my jutsus? Like, how's my body feeling on that aspect?
You feel very sore. You have no idea how long you've been asleep, but your body is noticeably drained of both sort of its shock for reserves and sort of combat potential. You get the sense. You can go and make a medicine check.
Okay. We like those. Okay.
Okay. You are familiar with the state of bodies that have sort of been in induced comas. You feel like it's been a number of weeks since you were last awake.
Okay. Not wanting to waste any chakra if I can use jutsus. I suppose first, with the pillars, I'll kind of just walk around the room, feeling the outsides and kind of looking at these pillars. Mainly around the outer edges of the room, I guess, at first.
Okay.
Trying to get a feel for everything.
Sure, you can go ahead and make an intelligence or a perception check.
Damn it.
You run your hand along. The only things that you kind of discern are that the pillars are pretty solid, as is the outer wall. You're not entirely sure how thick the wall is because there's no windows for you to like gauge it by that. Yeah, I'll say you also feel that the walls on the outer walls are kind of cold.
Okay. How in that case, like, how's the temperature inside of here? Like, am I cold or warm or just kind of in the middle?
The closer you get to the center of the room, the warmer it gets. Where the light like actually reaches the bottom here, that's where it's warmest.
Okay. I will walk over to. Is this drain actually in the middle?
Yes.
Okay. I will walk over and I suppose first look up, kind of trying to see out the light to see if I see anything. I mean, I know it's like a foot by foot, but or whatever.
Yeah, you can make another perception check.
20s and low, baby.
This time, you sort of your eyes adjust to the light. You can kind of tell that the light that you're seeing is from a mirror. The shaft that's above your room, it must have a right angle at some point, and this is a mirror scheme that reflects the sunlight down to you.
Interesting. Okay. I suppose now we'll do the obvious and first look into the drain, and then depending on what we see, we'll go from there.
There is obvious signs of waste in the drain.
Does it smell
yeah,
bad?
it smells. It doesn't smell awful. You get the sense it hasn't been used in a while, but yeah, I mean it still smells pretty bad.
Okay. Do I see any kind of tunnels, like where they would lead out or anything, like down inside of it?
No, it's just it's too
Just like
dark.
a pit. Oh, too dark to see. Okay. Is there anything around the room, like a rock I can drop into the, like a little pebble or something? I can drop into the thing to see how far down it goes.
Yeah, sure. You find a small pebble and drop it into the drain there. After about you estimate probably at least 40, 50 feet down before you hear a clink.
Can I try to lift up does it make like a solid hit? Like is it like it's solid on the ground on the bottom?
Not that solid.
Okay.
No.
I guess I'll at least try to lift this grate up.
Okay. You sort of grab the iron grate there and try to lift it. It is like the bars of the grate are like thick.
Okay.
Yeah. You don't even budge it.
All right. And is there any? So I'm noticing. Are these claw marks here?
Yes, there are claw marks all throughout the.
Awesome. Cool.
area.
Do I see another way to get in? Like at all? Like when I was walking around the room, or is it just like the hole above me and this right here? From what I've seen.
That's all you've seen.
Okay. I guess lastly, I'll try to mess with the chains a little bit. Like kind of walking up, like maybe tugging on them. Just seeing if there's anything weird with them. I mean,
they're very heavy and large, but other than that, no, you don't see any like jutsu inscribed on them or anything.
Does my I don't know if that would matter. I don't know how to ask this without it being like a meta question. Would I be one to assume? So, okay, actually, here's how I'm gonna ask this: are these chains like locked closed, as if they were holding something that got out?
No,
Or are they open like
they're
this?
open at the moment. They
Okay.
do have like a little, you get the sense with the proper key you probably could lock them.
Okay.
But at the moment,
I suppose that's the question then. Do I feel like these marks might have been induced by me, or am I presuming it's something else?
even with your Inuzuka talents, these claw marks are made by something a lot larger than you.
Okay. I suppose lastly, because I don't really know what else to do here, I will walk over to the pillar and try to start walking up it with what chakra I have.
Sure. As you try to infuse chakra and send it to your feet, it dissipates.
All right. Arada is feeling very, very frustrated. Feeling that Than is dead, and knowing his dad probably put him in here. If since the rocks or since the sides are like if they're like bricky, are they climbable or is it not like that?
It's stone.
Okay.
You might be able to get like 5 or 10 feet, but it's
Okay.
pretty smooth.
Nothing to matter. Okay. All right. Well, I guess we'll just try to use jutsu and see what happens. I am gonna try. Let's see. I'll do this because it's cheap. I want to try my transform jutsu, and this is basically purely to see if I can. And I guess I'll try to transform into my dad, I suppose, just to like pick something. Usually it's like a one chakra thing.
Okay. As you make the hand signs and attempt to mold the chakra dissipates.
Okay, do I feel like that was like a self error, or is there something in this room that's stopping that?
You perform the hand signs and you know how to mold chakra.
Okay.
Anything else you'd like to try?
I guess not. I mean, I have examined the walls of the room. I mean, unless I can make another check to like feel the walls, but like that's it.
Okay. Arada spends the next week examining his new prison, and we'll move on to Izuto. Izuto, after your encounter with Arada and Kenji, you remember stumbling back to the slums and passing out. You're not sure from, well, in any case, you wake up in a sort of warmly, sort of bluish, almost magically lit area. Yeah. What would you like to do? You're down here, by the way.
Yeah. I'll zoom out a bit. Okay, obviously see the water dragon. Yeah, I get up from my bed, hurt, not feeling great, but kind of too mentally shocked to care about physical condition at the moment. And I walk to the water dragon, kind of hoping for some answers.
The water dragon that you see there is he's like wrapped in like a sort of coiled like a serpent, and it appears to be sleeping. It just has its head like sort of resting at the top of the coil.
Does it appear to be the same one that Suiko had?
You make a perception check, or perception or investigation, I guess.
I'll weirdly enough do investigation.
Investigate them scales.
Okay. So looking at the dragon, you recall that Dewdrop was, didn't have any wounds of note, very fresh scales. This one looks exactly the same, except there's lots of sort of battle marks, there's scars, there are bits of the scales that are missing. So it looks like an identical clone, but this one has clearly been through more combat.
Okay.
Go to make a history check.
Damn, I don't know what else I could have done. I don't know if I was
So,
supposed to fight
based off
something
of
or
what
what.
little you were able to glean sort of after everything went wrong, Dewdrop was hunted down and killed by the other dragons after they came through the portals.
Okay, I see. I guess I walked down, kind of inspecting the situation, to the medic here. What's he up to?
Sure. He's washing some things, sterilizing some instruments. He looks up and looks over at you, and sort of jumps up in alarm and says, "Sir, please return to your bed. You're not well."
Yeah. I just had some questions. The water dragon. What's it doing here?
The medic sort of frowns, looking at you confused. Seeing that you're genuine, I suppose, in your asking here, uh, he says, "I'll answer that. Let's head back to your bed first, though." And he sort of like wraps around. And as you've been walking around, you have like there have been a few points where you've had to kind of stop and like keep yourself from coughing pretty violently.
Yeah.
Um, do you allow him to lead you back to your bed?
I allow him to lead me back to my bed.
As he makes sure that as you sit on the edge of the bed there, he sits down next to you. He says, "All right, listen. I understand you're very confused. Your condition can cause that. You've been diagnosed with, well, a high stage of cancer." He starts like going into some of the medical details.
I
But
kind of wave him off halfway through that.
he says, "Well, to answer your question, you're in the healing rooms. This is where the great water dragon," and he sort of like he makes a weird sign with his hands, holds court and provides healing ice to those who need it when he feels like it. And of course, his humble servants, and he gestures to himself and sort of points to various areas of the room where other medics are sort of going about their business. And we take care of those who are not lucky enough to receive our master's ministrations directly.
I see. Does anybody talk to the water dragon?
It would be impertinent for individuals like us to address our master in such a way.
I see.
I'm sorry. I suspect even with the healing ice, I wouldn't. Your condition is very severe.
I kind of laugh. Does at this point does he look younger than I am?
Yeah. He's like in his early 20s, so yes.
Gotcha. And how old? I know what I look like. How old would I assume I am?
You would be like about 26.
Okay. I kind of laugh and just go, no point in trying to change fate or destiny. At this point, I have made my choices. I'm not as worried as you think I am.
He nods a little uncomfortably. He says, "Unless you have any questions, I should really get back to my work. I think that," and he looks through a little sheet next to your bed. Yes, one of our doctors will be here with you soon. They'll be able to answer more questions if you need more clarification.
Yeah, I kind of give a nod and wave him off. Friendly, not like being mean or
Okay.
anything.
He returns to his task.
Yeah, during I will wait for the doctor, but during this time, I want to kind of get in like a meditation kind of position. How does like the cursed chakra in me feel? Could I bring it out?
You're cursed. You're linked to the entity. Was cut off many years ago. It wasn't at the start. It was about 3 years after. You don't know why.
I see. So sensing the other moon cursed ones is also out of the question.
Yes, they disappeared one by one, and then soon after, you lost all connection.
Can I make a history check to see what happened
Sure.
to the Land of Wind and the Kazekage? See if it was there.
Yeah. Okay. Izuto, despite not having a lot of sources of accurate information, you know that the dragons went on a what they called a great hunt, in which they destroyed all other potential threats in the land that might have stood against them. Um, in particular, the wind, which is why you think that might have been what happened to the entity that gave you the curse mark. Um, in terms of the Land of Wind and the Kazekage, they got almost the worst of it out of any of the lands. They chose to defy the dragons. They said people of the Land of Wind being very proud and not friendly to foreign conquerors. Um, as a result, most of the great clans were destroyed, and the very few that survived, there was no question that they of who they serve now.
I see. Um, yeah, as far as it goes, I kind of wait for this so-called doctor
Okay.
to come.
They arrive within the next 30 minutes or so. I know the alphabet.
A.
There we go. A somewhat familiar face. Lady Isoto arrives. She, for the purpose of this, she has clothing similar to what the other medics are wearing. It's not like she has a little armband that seems to distinguish her. Other than that, she looks. It's been a decade, but she looks even older than that. She has almost a completely gray head of hair. There are incredibly intricate crow's feet around her eyes. She just looks very, very tired. Uh, she sits down next to you and looks up. She says, "I'm afraid, even my skills can't keep you much longer, Izuto."
Lady Izuto, I seem to have lost some of my memory. You, I saw Arada. He didn't really remember much of me. But you remember me, don't you?
She lets out a long sigh and says, "I remember all of my patients, for better or worse. I'm not surprised about Arada. It's been a long time since he would have seen you. Um, frankly, we've all had to move along to survive."
Um, is there not some sort of resistance, some sort of force?
She lets out a bit of a tired laugh, and she says, "No, Izuto. Um, this is the third time you've asked me that question. I suppose the memories of your younger years, the happier years, you've been thinking of them more lately now that death approaches. I don't disapprove. I'm glad that you're finding some degree of comfort in, well, in this situation." She sort of gestures all around her.
What's what's the point of you keeping me alive? I should have died in battle. I shouldn't be alive.
Lady Isato shrugs and says, "It's my job to keep people alive. There's no greater meaning to it, Izuto. All the fights, all the battles, the war that you and your friends tried to wage, all ended up with this." And she sort of looks around. She says, "That's what the warrior's fate gave us. Just maybe try to find another fate in these final days. Try to be happy as much as you can be."
What? He's very kind of in a cross between like very depressed and very frustrated with how his life is turning out. The fact that nobody really takes much note of him, or he's just gonna die a lonely old man. Isato, is there um okay. I seem I agree with you to an extent. Um, but I don't wish to die like this. I don't know what had happened, what we did. My memory is failing me now, but I know me, the me that lives now. Um, I'd rather die fighting for my ideologies than to be whatever. And I kind of look down, look like around me, to whatever this has become.
Lady Izuto stands up and she says, Izuto, no one cares whether you die fighting or not. You're not strong enough to matter anymore.
Oh,
And she
damn.
turns around and walks away.
Jesus.
Leaving Izuto there. We'll go to... Where is she? Oh, there she is. Suiko. Suiko, as we left off last time, what's that?
Nothing. Continue.
You had gone to Governor Tech, who is apparently in charge of the region that Konoha is now a part of. You asked him to send you Genjutsu reading. Suiko, apparently believing that this is not the real world, that this couldn't have possibly happened. In any case, you return to your house. Is there anything in particular you'd like to do, or should I narrativize here for a minute?
You can keep going for a few minutes.
Okay. So Izuto or Suiko, you do receive, as promised, the delivery of Genjutsu books. A small trickle at first, and then more and more as you keep requesting them.
And how long has it been, time-wise, since the last?
Weeks start going by as you're spending your day having to sell carpets with your father, and spending what little free time you have at night, sort of poring over these books by candlelight. Unless there's something else in particular you want to do in the meantime.
You can keep going for now.
As time passes, you begin looking at more and more esoteric books of Genjutsu. As you realize, and the more you think back on it, the way that things worked out, if it is a Genjutsu, there are only a few that it could be. You're assuming that I think that you would make the assumption that there's some sort of time dilation involved, which narrows things down considerably. And from there, you keep narrowing it down further and further. Go ahead and make an investigation check. And I guess just for your, how is Suiko? Does her determination sort of lessen over time, or does it sort of stay constant?
It stays goddamn constant.
Okay. You can roll with advantage then.
Sorry, you said
Investigation.
Oh god. I'm never good at those. We do not have a good history with these.
That's not bad. So I'll say in about 2 months' time pass, and you finally get through all the stacks of books. You have a bunch of notes on every sort of genjutsu that you studied that might be possible, and at that point you just start slashing them off one by one as you get more into detail on each of them. Eventually you are left with only one, and I'm sending that one to you now.
I told you I would get out of here no matter what, and I goddamn meant it.
You might want to read it first before you say that.
Oh no!
Can I just say,
in any case, I'll let you, unless there's something else you want to do in particular, I'll let you read that and we'll move on back to Arada.
Oh, you sent it. Okay. I see. Oh no, this looks sad. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we can move back to Arada. I assume I'm still not allowed to leave. I imagine Suiko keep going back to Tech and keep nagging him to let me leave.
Yeah, that doesn't get you anywhere, as you might imagine.
Okay, you can do Arada.
All right. Arada.
Yeah. How long have I been in here? Give me that first.
A week has passed, with you trying everything I imagine you can think of to try to figure out to get a getaway out of here.
Yeah,
The
I can tell
food
you he'd be
is
losing his
lowered.
shit.
The food is lowered once a day, through the shaft at the top.
Okay.
It's mostly sort of like military ration type stuff. So like very, they just like literally drop it before even like letting the rope go very far down.
Okay.
It slaps the bottom. You learn pretty quickly to catch it before it actually hits near the grate, because then
Yes.
it can get kind of nasty potentially.
Yes.
Um, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess just like character wise, if it's been a week and Arada's made no progress and can't find anything, he would definitely be losing it. I would imagine every time these rations start coming down, he is just swearing at the people up top. Just I swear to God, like I get out of here, you're all done. Um, just like inherently near losing his mind. Um, I mean, to the best of his ability, tries to like pick what he determines the weakest spot on the wall. Um, and tries to start like hitting at it if he can with the chains. Throughout the week, try to make some kind of metal shaft or use a rock. Say that again.
Yeah, go ahead and make an athletics check.
Okay. I was like, probably grab a rock. I suppose would be the easiest thing, and start banging at the weakest portion. Not bad.
Um, so as the week goes by, you very determined, I imagine, manage to break a little bit of a hole in one of the walls. It's a very small hole.
Okay.
But what comes gushing out, for a moment at least,
shit.
is just a bunch of loose soil.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And how high up is the like ceiling to this? Or I guess how high up rather is the hole with the
About 30
mirror?
feet.
So 30 feet to the ceiling, and then how much higher does the hole go? Like with the light coming down?
About 30 feet. I don't know if you heard me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't think I'm getting through 30 feet of soil, huh?
Is there something else you'd like to try?
I mean, I suppose it's like unrealistic, but Arada having no other like choice. I in my head, so he knows he's underground, and he's gonna start creating divots in the wall, to like get to as high as he like comfortably can, and start trying to like break a hole at like a higher point. So then if like dirt does come out, he's not doing it 30 feet down, he's doing it like 10 feet down, like if he can get higher, if that makes sense.
Sure.
That would be his idea, I suppose. And just sitting there at it, continuing to swear and tell whoever is opening and like giving the food that he's he's not going down lightly.
You managed to create sort of by the end of the week, a small pile of soil. As you have to like start digging it out, it gets harder and harder to continue.
Yes.
But you keep at it. At the end of the week, you wake up. I mean, basically it's daytime or nighttime, depending on how much light there is coming from the shaft at the top.
Okay.
So you probably wake up over here-ish.
Excuse me.
And you wake up to find your father there, standing there with his arms crossed. Hello, Arada.
Hey, what do you want?
He sort of gestures to the pile of soil. He says, "Good on you for not giving up, but that's not going to get you out of here. Only one thing can do that." And he sort of puts a thumb to himself. That's me.
I look over to the pile of dirt. And I look over to him, and just go. I'd much rather be buried by my own trials than listen to you at this point.
He shakes his head. He says, "You're I shouldn't have listened to your mother. I always knew that you were too weak for the ninja life, Arada. That's on me, I suppose." And he sort of shuffles himself a little bit. In any case, Is
Yeah,
Arada?
yeah. On the 2 week thing, it would just be like 2 week, 2 week. You're the one just willing to throw our dogs away like they're tools, and throw our family away, and throw what we stand for, and what you stand for. You're the weak one.
Stand for the survival of the clan, Arada. That's something that you don't understand. Whatever. I'm not interested in discussing this. I came here out of a perhaps misguided sense of owing you. Your friends, Suiko and Izuto,
Are they okay? Oh shit.
their executions have been scheduled for the next for next week.
Arada's
Okay.
eyes, his eyes widen. Just, why are they being executed?
He shrugs and says, "The dragons have proclaimed it such."
And
They're not too big on. I mean, they have their reasons. Enemy of the state, bunch of high-sounding words, but I suppose all it amounts to is they decided to stand against them, and this is their revenge. If everyone didn't think you were dead already, I suppose you'd be up there with them.
so you're just letting them kill people now? We're not even gonna try to stop them? This is insane. You're not even standing for the village at all at this point.
I'm standing for my clan. That's my priority right now. And it's not like anything with it. We've lost the war already, Arada. Even if I wanted to do something, all it would accomplish is the death of more of us. And frankly, your friends aren't worth it. They and you put us in this mess to begin with. You would just, if you hadn't fought, maybe they would have been a little bit more amenable to negotiations.
Well, kind of looks down for a minute and looks back up and just says, "Well, I didn't realize you'd rather be a slave than fight for what you believe in. But you know, if slavery is the life you want to live, Father, I suppose I can't stop you. But I won't be following in your footsteps."
He snorts and says, "Whatever you say, Arada. In any case, I thought you should know. For what it's worth, your mother was very sad to hear about your death." And he turns around and jumps up to the shaft. He slaps the side of it twice, and a little hidden bit of the ceiling sort of slides aside. He, with a bit of acrobatics, flips himself up into it, and it smoothly closes shut behind him.
Yeah.
Anything Arada would like to do?
Lay down and cry.
That's what I'm looking for.
Genuinely, somewhat literally, in the sense of he just doesn't know what to do anymore. Feels very lost and kind of just sits down on his blanket and just breaks down. Kind of similar to the Than one, but this one is like, with Than he was still determined. With this one he's just broken. He doesn't know like how to continue. He doesn't know what to do. He's lost.
All right, we'll move back to Izuto. Izuto, a week passes with you in the healing room. During that time, check some music, I suppose. During that time, Lady Izuto occasionally comes by to check up on you. Your cough gets worse and worse, and at this point, it's a fair amount of blood that comes up with each violent racking of your body. Is there anything in particular that Izuto would like to try to do during this time period?
I guess at this point, kind of a last hope scenario, tried to hobble his way slowly to the dragon. Is the dragon asleep this time as well?
It has not woken up since you've been here.
I see. Yeah, fuck it. I'm going down here. I tried to wake up the dragon.
Fuck that bitch. My face went in.
So you reach out and sort of grab him by the scales, I suppose, and like try to like push on him a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. After like a few seconds of this, no one seems to notice you. Over time, you sort of got the sense most people try to avoid looking at the dragon. You're not entirely sure why. Um, but after a little bit, one of its eyes sort of opens and sort of turns to you. It doesn't say anything. Do you say something?
I kind of sit down, crisscross applesauce, kind of where its head would be, and kind of just go. So, I know we haven't, don't really know each other, but what's it like in your land? The land of dragons, that is.
The dragon lifts its head slowly. Go and make a persuasion check.
He's just gonna have a nice cup of Joe with this guy.
Yeah,
Okay. The dragon sort of lets out a deep rumbling laugh. It's, doesn't remind you of Dewdrop, whereas Dewdrop was sort of genuine and sort of intense. This is more mocking and kind of cruel. It says, I believe the proper order of things is that you entertain me, human, not myself entertaining you. I smell the death on you. Have you come here to beg?
No begging. If you wish to end my life, you can do it now. What tales or what do you want me to do to entertain you?
I can't imagine that such a sad young man does anything that would entertain me.
Well, maybe not. He seems obviously, like we said, quite a bit older than Dewdrop, right? In terms of dragon
Yes.
years. Well, I agree, but well, I see you here, day in, day out, week in, week out. Frankly, you seem bored and lonely. Figured it wouldn't hurt to, well, hurt to talk.
The dragon sort of narrows its eyes at you. And it says, it's amazing how when a human has accepted their death, their willingness to approach us in such a frank manner. Very well, human. I will entertain you. Tell me, what stories would you like to hear?
What?
He didn't think he'd get this far.
Yeah, no.
I didn't expect you to get this far.
All right. What was it like in your younger days? Tell me about your life.
The dragon, obligingly, it's still like he's telling the story, but he's doing it like, like an adult like talking to a little kid about like his war adventures or whatever, kind of with a smirk on his dragon face. Clearly withholding a lot of details because you wouldn't understand them, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But he does begin telling you of the younger days of him waking up from his father, the celestial dragon, who was bleeding at the time. How he heroically healed his father's wounds from the great battle with his father's adversary. He doesn't know the name of that father's adversary, but he knows it as the adversary. He speaks of him helping his father conquer the native peoples of the land. He takes great pleasure. I don't know how Izuto would react to this, but he takes great pleasure in like the descriptions of like, oh, I slaughtered this battalion of crossbowmen or whatever. Going into like the gory details to a certain extent, trying to sort of get a rise out of you.
He doesn't get one.
Okay. At this point, though, with the dragon speaking, and I mean he has a loud voice, people sort of are all listening too. And a number of them sort of freak out a little bit at these descriptions, and he does seem to get satisfaction from that. In any case, these stories continue. he will end them after about an hour or two. And he says, "Back to your bed, human. I wish to play a game with you. Let us see how much of my life you can hear before the end of yours." He has this sort of feral grin on his face. 1 hour per day. Come back here. I will tell you more.
1 hour per day it is. I give out kind of like a bellowed. Not bellowed's not the right word. I give out like a soft laugh. Pretty content, kind of accepting. My end. Might as well not make it painful and not make it worse than it needs to be. But I give out a soft laugh and just goes, well, I hope I can hear all of it. I kind of look at him and just go, I think for a dragon you're okay. Maybe you guys aren't all bad. I bet in my heyday you and I could have had quite the war.
He lets out a laugh, derisively, and he says, "Oh yes, I'm sure you would have hit me with your rocks and your staves or whatever you people use in your land."
No, I would have used a sword, and I obviously thinking of that sword, but not really mentioning it to him. Just go, and I shrug. It probably wouldn't have done much, not with those scales. Regardless, I'll let you get back to your alone time. It seems you quite enjoy it, but I'll take you up on that offer. 1 hour every day, until my passing.
Okay. So the sort of last reaction you get out of the dragon as you hobble back to your place, he does actually look kind of like visibly annoyed that he's supposed to be the one in control here, not you. And you're like making all these little jabs at him, and he's clearly not used to that.
I hobble back to bed. I think at this point, I was like, unless something in drastic happens or anything of the sort, Izuto tries to find whatever happiness he can in always being the guy that read the history books and looked at the maps and studied and wanted to know everything about everyone and wanted to go on this adventure with Naki, but eventually couldn't. He kind of on his bed accepts that his adventure will have to kind of be auditory through this dragon, knowing that his life didn't go as he expected, but he's trying to make the best of it.
Okay. Back to Suiko, who hopefully has had enough time to do some reading.
After figuring out what this Genjutsu could possibly be, I feel grounded now, and I'm ready to goddamn confront some fears. Who to start with first? Where are Izuto and Arada?
Wait. Sorry, I didn't catch all that. What are you doing?
I wanted to go off and confront my fears.
Okay.
Are Izuto and Arada here, or are they still off on a mission?
Curiously enough, they returned from their mission.
Oh, how convenient.
Pretty soon after you finished reading and resolved yourself.
All right. Suiko feels nervous, but she is very determined.
Oh shoot! I think I messed up the default Izuto token.
You did. It's all good. I have it on the stat sheet. You can use, I think, this clone Izuto.
Nope. Even cursed Izuto. I screwed up for all of them.
So all the tokens were connected. They just look differently.
Okay. Well, Izuto's on the map, but he has more. He's more.
Damn.
I'll fix it.
Bro, I can grip and rip Izuto right now. Hold up.
Bro, we're not ready for this. Go on. It's just a clone.
All right. In any case, Izuto and Arada, they return. Your father had sort of prepared a meal for them, hearing that they would be coming by. As he sees that you're he's been pretty annoyed with you these past few months, but he hasn't bothered really talking much about it. Considering that you're still doing your work like the faithful or dutiful daughter that you are, he hasn't bothered you. However, when the Dragon Legion soldiers and Arada and Izuto finally arrive, your father's sort of waiting outside, having already done all the cooking. He lifts up a hand at them and says, "Oh, hello, Izuto, Arada. We're so happy to see you." He sort of comes running up to them, sort of stumbling a little bit. "Aren't we, Suiko?" And he looks back at you.
I make solid eye contact with both of them. I'm like, "Yep, get this over with."
Izuto rolls his eyes and he says, "Are you sure that's the tone you want to take, Suiko? I don't know if you heard what we accomplished in the Land of Lightning, but kind of big deals now, right below your precious Governor Tetch."
I mumble to myself, "God, listen, I'm not trying to make light of your accomplishments, but that doesn't mean I gotta grovel at your feet, Izuto."
Izuto sort of snorts and says, "What?" And under his breath, but like clearly loud enough that you can hear it, he says, "What else are you good for?" Arada sort of puts up his hands. He says, all right, let's be friendly. So Suiko, yeah, we wanted to talk to you about Tetch, by the way. We're curious to hear how he's been doing. We've had some inquiries from leaders of other lands and, well, let's just say pretty high places. We hear that you spend a lot of time with him. What's your impression?
Oh, sorry. What are they? They just want to know anything about him?
You can make an insight check.
Okay. Like, he's alive and not dead.
Only the most important information.
+9.
Oh my god, the nat 20s.
I'm gonna roll high for that.
Okay, so you understand that what they're asking is apparently they're intending to replace Tetch with the approval of the dragons as governor of this place. Either one or both of them, or maybe one of their clan heads. And they're trying to look for dirt on him. That's what they're asking you. Is there anything that would help us accomplish the overthrow of Tetch in favor of one of our own?
Okay. I guess my response would be like, well, if you want to just head in, just the 3 of us, for good time's sakes, I can catch you up on that.
Pops sort of looks back at you approvingly, and Izuto rolls his eyes again, but Arada nods and says, yeah, sure, looking sort of at the rest of his squad, and he says, maybe that'd be best.
Great.
You invite them inside and head to the dinner table, I suppose.
Yep.
Whoop.
Honestly, I would probably just invite them right here.
Oh, okay, sure.
I don't want to spend more time around the fingers than I gotta. Cool, well, we can talk right here real quick, okay?
Izuto nods and he says, in case it wasn't obvious, we're asking if you have any dirt on Tetch.
Thank you, Izuto. Thank you for making that clear for me. No, I do not have any dirt on Tetch. He's doing swimmingly, in case you were worried about that.
Arada sort of shifts uncomfortably. He says, that's unfortunate. Are you sure you haven't heard anything that might be of use? Even something small. It doesn't need to be real. All we need is pretense.
I assume it's like completely obvious to me that they want to replace him.
Yeah.
Or do I not know their plans yet?
No, you rolled a nat 20. You know that that's what they intend.
But listen, guys, why are you so eager to replace Tetch? Why are you so up on your high horse?
Izuto sort of he takes a step forward and he says, I mean, I won't expect you to understand, Suiko, but Arada and I are going places in the world. We deserve it, frankly, in a way that you never did. All of your significant power was given to you by another creature, one that you couldn't even manage to protect when the other dragons came, the more proper ones. We have a lot more to do, though, with our lives. We're meant as to be more than just a
That's real.
carpet seller. And he sort of looks at you with disgust.
There it is. You really think life revolves around being powerful? You really think that's all there is to any of this?
Izuto, surprised that you're talking back to him, sort of looks at Arada. Arada says, that was a little mean, Izuto, but
Don't step in for him, Arada. Izuto, did you mean what you said? You're implying that I'm worth nothing now?
Izuto nods. He says, I mean, yeah, I think that's fair to say.
I turn to Arada and I'm like, knock it off with the political bullshit. You agree with him?
Arada shrugs and says, I mean,
Yes or no?
Suiko, no offense, but
Yes or no?
yeah, I think that is more or less accurate.
Sorry.
And there we go. Suiko just takes a deep grounding breath, and I was like, it has been 10 goddamn years, and neither of you have matured in the slightest. You know what I've learned? Stuck here for 10 years?
To be clear, it hasn't been 10 years for this Suiko. It's been about a year and a couple months, but yeah.
Has it not been like 10 years since the war?
It was 10 years for Izuto. It's been about a year and a half for you.
Great. Okay. I didn't say
All right,
that.
yeah. You continue though. I mean, I get what you're saying.
Sorry. It's been an entire year, and you two still haven't matured.
Yeah, not the same ring, huh?
Yeah, it's really not. Oh, God. Listen, you two. You know what I've realized being stuck inside for an entire year? After everyone around me has reminded me consistently that I am worth nothing now, I've realized that no one's opinion except my own goddamn matters anymore. I am sick and tired of relying on you people for my own happiness. I'm going to go out into the goddamn world, and I'm going to find happiness on my own terms. I'm not going to rely on my goddamn clan. I'm not going to rely on friends who abandoned me. I'm not going to rely on even my own dad. I have the power to dictate my own life. Not you two. I have the power to assign myself my own worth. Not you two. We are no longer friends anymore. Because both of you have abandoned me, and I deserve better. Please, get out of my house. You will be getting no dirt from me, ever.
Izuto, both of their cheeks redden at this. Izuto angry and Arada kind of embarrassed. Izuto takes a step forward and like balls up a fist, and you see his iron sort of floating around him. Arada just sort of puts his hand on Izuto's shoulder. He says, she's not worth it, Izuto. I don't think she has anything of interest anyway to say about Tech. Izuto glares at you, but nods and he says, fine. Have fun giving yourself worth, Suiko.
I will. Thank you. There's a big old grin. Slam the door behind them as they leave.
All right.
I will, thank you.
You hear the soldiers file out after their squad leaders. Pops comes rushing in, flustered and angry. He says, Suiko, what did you say to them? They looked furious.
One now, old man. I got my clan leader to confront next.
All right.
Wait, do I need to confront him too?
You might want to reread the thing.
About
It's not just confronting. There's another thing to it.
Oh man, this is so funny.
confront all targets.
This is so funny. Don't say it out loud. I don't want to. I don't want to hear what she says. Wait, I actually don't want to hear what she says.
You can go ahead and make an intelligence check with advantage if you want.
Okay, I actually don't want to hear
Are you
it.
talking about the part I need to unalive myself?
Oh, why'd she
That
say
is the part that I'm talking
it?
about.
Okay, cool. I thought I also had to confront Pakira.
I think that Suiko has successfully dealt with that issue.
Cool. All right. I need a peaceful place I can unalive myself. I just straight up ignored my dad.
Okay.
Right.
So Suiko, you storm out of the house and head to the area there. Your dad probably would follow you. I mean, he's angry. He's like yelling at you.
God. Go talk to Tetch or something, Dad. I don't know. Listen, I got something I need to do right now.
Okay. Your daddy sort of throws up his hands, sort of very frustrated, and he does start heading off, and he leaves the compound.
I've been giving him so much shit for the past few weeks that I imagine it's finally just broken him by now.
Yeah, that's probably the case.
Okay. Cool. I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna grab myself. God, what is the easiest way to unalive myself? Would you grab a kunai, point it at my heart?
Okay.
And then
do you focus on someone in particular?
I guess I would go after, honestly, probably Arada first, since I rely on him to make smarter decisions than me. So I think that's who Suiko would focus on first.
Okay. With that, Suiko plunges the kunai into her heart, making a final bet that this is in fact a genjutsu.
Bro, imagine it's not.
If it isn't good, then
If this isn't a good jutsu, you've made an interesting decision.
if it isn't, good riddance. That Arada and Izuto suck.
Arada, a few more days have passed. The day of execution is coming up. Is what you've just been sort of very depressed, I assume, and not doing much in the meantime.
Yeah, it's kind of been day in, day out, of like wake up, obviously at food times he's been going and catching the food. I think honestly after a while he stops like not eating completely, but is like just eating less and less. Like skip a meal every now and then. Like just let it hit the ground and maybe later if it like smells bad, like scrape it into the like the drain or whatever. And besides that, probably like taking a stone. We're not breaking any more holes in walls. But starts kind of just out of boredom and I guess sadness, just starts like trying to draw pictures. I mean, he's never been artistic, but like doesn't really know what else to do with his time. And kind of starts drawing pictures of like him, his friends, Than, and just kind of that world, Nariba, all that good stuff. Just trying to keep his happy memories, but feeling really shitty knowing his friends are passing and he can't do anything about it.
All right. During one of those, I imagine you start sleeping less and less. These drawing sessions going further and further into the night.
Yeah.
During one of them, you feel a chill crawl down your spine. Turn around to see a yokai ghost-like creature standing before you.
I just kind of drop the rock and go, "What the hell are you?"
Suiko, would you like to respond to that?
Okay. Arada, is that you?
Do I hear this as Suiko's voice?
No, it is a female voice, but it is not Suiko's.
It's not Suiko's? Okay. Yeah. How do you know my name?
You don't recognize me?
You look down at yourself at this point, Suiko,
Okay.
and you do have like a ghostly body right now. It is not your regular body.
My initial reaction would be like, God damn it. Something always got to go wrong in these things. I look back at Arada and I
Yeah,
see
I
how
like back up.
shitty. I see how shitty his condition is, and I was like, okay. Listen. You look not good, buddy. I don't know how to convince you. I don't know how much time has passed in your world, but I'm Suiko, the real one, and ask me something that only the real Suiko would know. I don't even know if that would do him any good.
Yeah, Rada like shakes his head and kind of starts like not hitting his head painfully, but doing the like kind of bumping your head thing, and is like, I'm losing it. I've been in here too long. I don't go away. Like thinking it's like an image.
Let's see. How do I convince someone who's obviously been suffering for quite a while? Listen, stop hitting yourself. He's up just a little bit.
Arada would like to pick up a rock and throw it at this ghostly figure.
Does it hit me? I don't try to dodge it. Just let it hit me.
It passes through.
Okay.
I knew you were a mirage. Go away.
Let's try a different angle. Arada, do you remember when we were at the pool up against the Uchiha? Do you remember that clearly? You remember text going up?
I would say like kind of meta question. Like prior to that, does Arada remember like that and being sucked in, and then he just remembers getting like spit out after post-war?
No, like I said, you had memories when you became unsealed, but it was towards the end. It was like basically after the war had been decided. You were
Okay.
unsealed when it was basically a prisoner exchange.
Okay. I kind of give the ghost lady a weird look, and I'm like, yeah.
Okay. Great. So Tetch appeared, and there was an Uchiha there. Uchihas? Very much known for genjutsus. Are we following along here? When I was stuck in my illusion, I worked my ass off to study genjutsu, and I came across one called the Bloody Heart World Jutsu. This one in particular relies on a target's fears and insecurities and constructs a genjutsu based around that. If I had to assume, whatever I look around, I'm like, I don't know what happened, but I assume it has been your worst fear, correct?
Arada kind of looks around. I suppose starting to realize that like everything that could have gone wrong has gone wrong. Okay, quick. Does Arada feel like he like when he was trying to save Than? Does he feel like he made a pretty darn good like medicine thing in that moment? Because I did roll decently when I was creating that medicine. Like, does he feel like it like was like bad luck that happened, and like he probably should have saved the Than?
Unfortunately, no.
No, okay.
Arada was aware that the poison that was affecting Than, there was no antidote that you could have made in time.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I kind of look up at you and I'm like, sure, this is bad, but I mean, what are you trying to say? That this isn't real? That the war's still going on? Like, what do you mean?
I think at this point I would try to tell Arada like everything for the important parts of what happened in my own personal world, just to kind of, take it home. Like I experienced a similar, very realistic world, and it was my worst nightmare.
Yeah.
And I was like, I assume if I think Suiko would guess this correctly. If I had to throw something out there, I assume something terrible happened to Than in your world.
Yeah, but I mean, like all the dogs are gone, and even if it was a dream, I mean, why? What did you do to get out? I've tried everything. I've done anything. It's helpless. You can't do anything.
I look a little hesitant. I kind of stabbed myself in the heart, and then I explain exactly how I got out, like confronting my worst fear, and then proceeding to kill myself.
If you'd like me to send him the PDF, I can.
Please.
I was like, you can. I think I'm grasping the concept here. Um, dun, dun. Yeah, I think. Well, not I think. Yeah, after Arada hears you say, you killed yourself. He would. Let me do this. All right, I guess I'm gonna read through this right now. Yeah, after Arada hears this, he kind of looks up and just goes, how do I know you're just not like someone telling me to kill myself? I mean, everyone thinks I'm dead anyway, and I just don't get it.
Buddy, I just told you in detail exactly what happened in my own world. If I wanted you dead, you really think I would have thought up something that complex?
Arada thinks for a second and thinks that's actually a good point.
Because I really mean like, Suiko told you in detail what an ass you and Izuto were to her, and how like everyone was reminding her how pointless her existence was.
Arada looks at this ghost and says, "So, you are claiming that you are Suiko?"
Yes, I am. Not claiming.
All right. If that is the case, I want you to tell me what your dragon's name was. Because if I'm correct me if I'm wrong. We were the only like our group were the only ones that knew the dragon's name was Dewdrop, right? Like we never shared that info with anyone else.
I don't think as far as you know, yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Cool. Suiko immediately goes, Dewdrop, my baby.
Arada gets a like a very like long stare of like, oh my god, Suiko. Kind of coming to again assuming that you are correct. So Arada is now in belief that this is Suiko. So I have to kill myself, but you also said confront my fear, but I'm stuck in here. What am I supposed to do? I probably should read this as well.
I mean, and then I ask Arada, I mean, be honest with yourself. I mean, what is your worst fear? Is there something beyond being able to not watching Fan die?
Well, and he
is
kind
your
of
family dead, or like
he kind of shifts awkwardly. Just goes, well, honestly, I hate being helpless, and I hate not being able to be there for people and to save people, and I can see it now that that's what this world is. I haven't been able to do anything. I've just been taken to one place and another with no jutsu and no sage mode, no fan, no anyone. At this point, I was like, do I need to read through this thing to like know exactly what I need to do, Hudson? Or
first I want Suiko to go and make an intelligence check with advantage.
Okay.
Oh my god. Because we know I'm great at intelligence checks.
Only that target is there.
We love intelligence for Suiko. Big fat 0. Let's go. Starting off okay. Can it get better?
Excuse me.
Slightly better. $16. Huh?
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry, the rolls aren't showing up for me. So 16.
Yes.
Okay. So based off of what you know about the jutsu and sort of the way the book described it, you feel like the book might be a little bit incorrect. What needs to be confronted is more the insecurity rather than the fear. The fear is more just you survive it. The insecurity is the thing that causes you to actually, when you focused on when you were resolved to confront Arada and Izuto, that's when the genjutsu started losing its hold on you.
Okay. Obviously I relayed this information to Arada.
Yeah, Arada kind of sits down and goes, well, I suppose I've always been really insecure becoming my father and just becoming a battle hungry, just murderous fiend who doesn't understand how to solve things properly and doesn't realize that you can solve things without violence. But I haven't given in to that, and I won't. And Arada kind of starts to stand up. I guess feeling better in this moment, starting to understand what's going on and what has been happening.
I was cheering him. Yeah.
There's a bit of a shudder as the hatch at the top of the room opens. Tazaga falls down at the bottom and steps forward, not appearing to notice Suiko and passing right through her, I suppose, if she gets in his way. And he says, Arada, I heard you talking. I've heard you've been, and he sort of looks around at the drawings, says, I can see you're not doing so well mentally. Causing me problems.
Arada's slowly walking forward while he's saying this and stops about 5-10ish feet out. And just looking his dad straight in the eye, says, you know what? You say all the time how I'm the weak one and I'm the problem. But I think the one who can't face themselves is the weak one, and frankly I'm tired of living in your shadow, and I'm tired of pretending like you're stronger than me because you're not. And not only that, but I'm gonna take over the clan. And I'm gonna make it great and powerful, and no one will fear us. They'll love us. And they'll see what we can be.
He snorts and he says, I was hoping to keep you alive as a potential thing to trade in the future. Another individual for the headman's noose. But maybe I made a mistake. And he rushes forward, grabbing you, and sort of slams you against the wall here, sort of keeping you up on it with his superior physical strength.
Is he like holding me by the neck, or like can I talk?
He's holding you by the neck, but he's not choking you yet, so you can talk.
As he's holding me there, I look him dead in the eye, and I just say, do it. If you think this makes you a better man, just know you're wrong.
With that, Tazaga sort of forms a hand into a, what do you call it? Like a flat, and he thrusts it into your heart.
I'm like shaking a little bit, even though I know this is supposed to be a dream.
Izuto, over the past few days, you've gotten to hear more of the water dragon's story. He focuses mostly on the wars, but it turns out later in his life he was assigned the command of a sector or a section, which is a significant portion of land, and he had a number of peasants and individuals under his beck and call. Based off of the way he describes it, you kind of get the sense that he preferred it there to having to come to this new land and sit in this hospital all day, which he clearly thinks is beneath him. Oh no, it's Izuto's back already. No.
Oh yeah,
in any case, but your condition worsens and worsens as well, to the point where you're finding it difficult to even get out of bed and sort of haul yourself over to there to sit and listen. As you wake up in the afternoon one of these days, as days and night in this place have kind of sort of blurred together for you, you see two sort of ghostly individuals at the foot of your bed. What yokai do you want to be, Arada?
I want to be the blood god one. Come on now.
Blood
Actually, no. I want to be the tiny little girl. Give me the tiny little girl. I'm the smallest of the group. I want the little baby child one. It'd be very fitting. Yes.
Excellent.
yokai child.
This is very fitting. We're now size canon. It's fine.
Perfect. I look to Arada. I'm like, yo, you want to give this a shot, or should I?
Well, I suppose I just stand there to kind of see what Izuto does. Or was Izuto? I didn't really hear what situation Izuto's in at the moment.
Izuto, you woke up and you see these two individuals before you. I need to do the back real quick. You guys can probably continue without me.
Okay.
I wait.
Yeah, I guess I sit up on my bed and look at the two apparitions and kind of just smile and just go, well,
I guess it's yeah.
I guess it's my time to go. Damn.
If only I
wish I heard
wasn't
more.
role
I
playing
wish I heard
properly.
more about the. I wish I heard more about the dragon.
I step forward to the edge of the bed very quickly. I just go, Izuto, it's me, Arada, and Suiko.
No, the hallucinations are starting.
No. Listen, man. I thought the same thing, but trust me, you're not in the real world. We didn't fail. I swear to you.
I look and go, no, it's okay. I've come to terms with what happened. It's
All right,
okay.
hold on. Okay. Let's try a different angle here. Okay, Izuto, do you remember when we went to that pool and we're about to fight the Uchiha, and Tet showed up? Do you remember that far back?
I think I do. I don't know. God's on.
Yeah, Izuto does remember.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I
And
remember.
then remember Tet just kind of disappeared us?
Yeah,
And
more
then
or less.
suddenly, out of the middle of nowhere, you woke up in some world that didn't feel like your own.
Yeah. But
Or
I have,
we were all... Wait,
I
what
have
was he
them-
going to say?
I was gonna say I have memories of this world.
So
It's-
did we.
I kind of stand up and go to both of you, I guess from this side, and put a hand to each of you and go, listen.
Phases through.
I'm hovering over it. I wouldn't like put any pressure behind it, but and just go, well, it's nice that my brain is comforting me in these last moments.
I don't...
I cough up
oh, God.
like a decent amount of blood. Obviously not struggling to even move the distance that I moved. And go, what a kind mind and kind thoughts I had of my friends.
Okay, no, Izuto, listen to me, okay? Let's just pretend for a second that what we're saying is true, and this isn't your mind. All right, let's just pretend it's a fairy tale world. What
the idea.
do you think situation Tetch would put you in if you were? Would he put you into this victorious dream? Would he put you in something that is, I don't know, maybe your literal worst fear?
Haven't you noticed that everything around you is going exactly how you would never want it to go? Like when you think things just couldn't get worse, they just keep getting worse.
Arada remembers something Suiko said as well. Right before Izuto gets a chance to sing, it goes, "Oh, have you met a weird version of us in this world? How did they treat you? How did they act?"
Well, I'll humor the idea. Arada wasn't the kindest. He forgot about me, and we weren't friends. Suiko, I haven't seen her. Everything's not so bad, guys. I don't know if this is your spirits or what it is, but
No. Okay, you're telling me that Arada, the man that stood by your side, would lay down his life, literally fought head over heels for you to just get rid of your cancer, would just forget you after everything you went through? And not just that, you think he would give in to these dragons? Do you even know him?
I start visibly crying.
Yeah,
and-
I guess I would go to put my hand on your shoulder, but miss.
I start visibly crying.
Izuto, you do feel the yokai reach up to you, and you feel pressure on your shoulder.
Oh. Okay, yeah, I put my hand on the shoulder, and I'm like, look, I don't know if you want to ask me a question or what, but I can tell you right now, as a Arada, whether you want to believe me or not, I damn well know I wouldn't treat you like that and wouldn't just forget you.
Um, Listen, I don't believe you guys are who you say you are. Um, I This is just my mind playing tricks on me, being so close to death. But what do you guys want? Um, and this saying all this through tears and just
Yeah.
uh, I'm just like I have such a kind such a kind thoughts of my friends. It's incredible you guys turned out the way you did. It was a bit wrong, but sure,
Izuto,
apparitions. What do you ask of me?
one final question. Is Than here?
No, no, Than hasn't been here for a long time.
Oh, so you're telling me Arada, Suiko, and Izuto just let Than go? You think any of the three of them would let that happen? Come on, you know all of us. There's no way you truly believe that this is a real world and a real thing you're in. I know this is a lot to take in, especially with these memories that you've been given, but it just isn't what it is. And frankly, I need you to see that. We need you, Izuto.
We listen. We tried. It's not like we let Than die. Or you tried. I tried. I can't remember. Everything's fuzzy.
Okay. Izuto, and I look to Rada. I'm like, let's tell him a little bit in detail what we personally went through. And I look back to Izuto. I'm like, if we tell you in detail what we went through, your mind would not bother coming up with such a story if it was just trying to comfort you in your last moments. Are you willing to listen to us?
Sure. Any stories is one I'm happy to. I've been hearing tales of death and destruction for days now.
He has been
Okay.
doing
Well, I would think Suiko goes first, since my story was not about destruction. And in detail, I tell you about exactly what you said, the fake version of you said to me, and how Arada treated me. And of course, the goddamn year I suffered through selling freaking carpets. I was like, I know better than to believe that you and Arada would treat me like that.
Yeah, having this time to think about it, I know there's been times where I get frustrated, and now in my older ages, I apologize for that, Suiko.
As an apparition, can I be upset or concerned? like what kind of things, like, because Arada might start crying at this point. Arada's having a rough time.
Yeah.
I kind of hobble back to bed. I can't stay standing for too long.
Yeah, you feel like you're in your body. It's just you look down and it's clearly not your body.
Different.
But yes, you're able to do whatever you would normally be able to do.
Okay. I guess Arada starts just getting somewhat upset, but understanding the situation, and walks over. She says, "All right, Izuto, this is gonna be a weird question, and frankly, hopefully this helps you see that we're not in your head. What is your biggest fear, or your biggest insecurity, or your biggest concern?"
Well, I guess what it was, not really what it is anymore. It was to be forgotten, or dying for no reason at all, a meaningless death, or yeah, I guess dying a meaningless death and being forgotten by the ones I love. That was it.
And what is going on right now?
Well, I'm slowly passing away on this bed, and I have like a soft smile. I have kind of like a soft smile on my face as I like kind of pass my hand through the pillows and touch the very, very, very poor built
Yeah.
bed and mattress and go, yeah, it's I saw that it was or I heard that it was a year for you, Suiko, and a couple months for you. It's been 10 years living here.
Ooh.
It's quite alright. I don't have much time left, as it is. I'll entertain your thoughts. Sure. You're Arada. You're Suiko.
Listen, all I know, whether it's been 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, I don't care the amount of years. If you were the Izuto that I know, you wouldn't lay down. You wouldn't quit. You wouldn't just decide, okay, I'm done. I've had enough of my life now. You'd try. If you had two apparitions come to the Izuto I know, you'd give them a shot. You wouldn't just lay down and throw yourself. You'd try. And honestly, Izuto, say what you will, but whether this is your brain talking or whatever you've been through, I know that you're more than this, and I know you're more than this. You're worth so much more than this forgotten death that you're just giving yourself.
I kind of chuckle. The tears kind of start flowing again, and go, if I was the Izuto that you knew, well, I'd be scared of yokai and scared of water still. I start like crying more profusely.
Izuto, go to make a quick intelligence check.
Sure.
Okay. I'll say the words ring true to you, particularly, and I mean, I suppose this is the DM's opinion. When you were asking Lady Izuto about potential resistance fighting against the domination of the dragons, she shut you down, but the fire was still there in Izuto's heart. Otherwise, he wouldn't have asked.
Yeah. Well, if you guys have any idea of how to change this course of action, like I said, there's not much left to go. So, what do I need to do?
Yeah, Arada feeling a lot better hearing you at least give it some thought. So I guess you see the yokai kind of get visibly excited just at you, honestly in the same way Arada would anytime you start to like kind of get into it. And then I guess the child, I say this child, looks and just goes, that's it. You have to feel it. You have to want it. You have to give up those fears, all those things that sit in your heart and hurt. You have to let them go. You have to realize they're not true. Frankly, and you probably could have guessed this, but I had to face my dad in a more real way than I ever have had before. I had to realize that I'm not him, and I don't live in his shadow. And I did, and I can be so much more, and you can too. You won't be forgotten. Izuto, they'll probably build statues of you, cursed cancer and all.
I laugh as I'm wiping the tears away. All right, very well. And I kind of stand up, coughing up some more blood, holding on to the bed frame as best I can.
Can I try to like help him up?
Sure. The yokai child reaches under Suiko's armpits and lifts him up to his feet.
Yeah, as I pick you up, I'm like, look, I'm here by your side the whole way through. You have to face your fear. You have to show them what you're made of, what I know you're made of. And then, once you do pass, you'll see that it was a dream. And you know what? We'll take it by the horns, baby. We'll run it all.
All right. Okay. I'll keep fighting for what little time I have left.
That's all I needed to hear.
Does Izuto feel resolved about this?
Yeah. I'd say he does.
Lady Izuto, quickly approaching, she runs up and says, Izuto, the medics inform me that you've been talking to yourselves. Are you feeling all right?
I give him a little nudge.
I chuckle. I go, I don't think I've felt much better.
You should get into bed. I know the dragon has been toying with you, but maybe you should just stay in bed. That's probably best at this point.
No. I see it now, Izuto. I see it. The dragon's right. He hasn't been toying with me. We've all
What?
become we've all become nothing but peasants and trash. We're not fighting anymore. We're nothing but cattle. That's all we are, don't you see? The dragon's right. But I'm not gonna be cattle. And I'm not gonna die like cattle. It took the dragon and it took my friends and the belief of them to understand this. I don't care what you say, respectfully. And I give like a soft bow with what little energy I have. I'm gonna see this out. And I get that my death doesn't have any meaning, at least not in this world, but it has meaning to me.
Lady Izuto looks visibly frustrated and annoyed at these words that you're saying. She snaps her fingers and calls out, "Excuse me, my Lord Dragon. I believe this one wants to speak with you." The dragon sort of lumbers up over towards you, staring down at you, and it says, "You are cattle, boy. I thought I made that clear."
You did make it quite clear. And I point to Izuto and go, she is cattle. And I point to all the other ones and go, they are cattle. They're nothing but livestock you're keeping. I see that now. You were by far, at least in the last decade, the only dragon that oh god, I accidentally moved the dragon. The only dragon that helped me see this. I sat through hours and hours of your stories and they brought me some comfort, but I'm not content with this end anymore. And I kind of look up at him and go, I'm not continuing like this. It's you and me. Put him up.
Yeah, Izuto, you notice that there is a there's like a little table next to your thing with a bunch of medical equipment, including like scalpels and other sharp things.
Yeah, I pick a scalpel up, and while I haven't cast Jutsu, I try to chakra enhance it as much as possible.
You do your best. The dragon lowers its head towards you, laughing all the while, and it says, "What are you going to do?" And it puts its head right next to you.
I'm going to die. My death. My way. Not listening to you. You don't control me. Laugh all you want. Mock me all you want. You don't control me. And you never will. Not anymore. The fear of this is over. So laugh mockingly, knowing that this is the one cattle and the one human being that opposed you and stood and wasn't afraid of you. And I kind of give him a look down and go, you're worthless. Trash. Sent here to a hospital when you had land and all these people working for you, and you're nothing more than a slightly better operating machine. And I spit on the ground. So come on. All you are is a overblown medic. Show me what you got.
Yeah. The dragon rears back, crying out in anger and rage at this insolent human, and it opens its mouth wide. A burst of bubble is the last thing that you see, Izuto.
That's my Izuto.
Damn, 10 years for him. That's rough.
You guys wake up.
Happy as can be.
we do. None of us need therapy.
All right, let me actually know how much it has.
Sheesh.
Yeah, you can change your chakra and HP values to whatever they're supposed to be. If it's
Not the
messed up.
10 Izuto. God damn.
I was at full. I just had the dust code minus whatever the dust code would be.
Arada.
Yeah, I would sprint over to Than.
Yeah.
Literally, that's the first thing I would do.
Than is not over there. He's next to you. He opens. Seeing he's there when you open your eyes, and he's like whining and like licking at you and stuff. Yeah. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I would Arada would just grapple him and like roll over and just like give him like the biggest little bear hug. Tears just like coming down his face. And just like I knew it wasn't true. I knew they wouldn't do that to you. You couldn't have been gone. And just mumbling over all of his words. Just hugging Thanatos with the biggest love.
Suiko gives like a joyous war cry because goddamn, she said she was getting out of there and she freaking meant it. Feels victorious.
Excellent. I just real quick, Izuto, your dust coat, it lasts like 8 hours, right?
Yeah.
So it would be gone at this point.
Okay.
It is currently like nighttime. You can see bits of moonlight sort of passing through the trees. You have your moments of celebration, of course. You do notice in the distance there is an individual who's lying down at the edge of the pool. Yeah, that's sort of what you can see from where you are. The yokai that you remember guarding him before are not there any longer, if they ever were. And Tetch obviously is not there either. It appears to be only you people, your group in the immediate vicinity.
I look over to Izuto and Arada and remind them that the Uchiha had to be tortured for the duration of the Genjutsu.
Arada would stand up and go, "Who cares?" and try to grab both of you and just
I
give you
was-
big
Yeah,
hugs.
I got a hug.
I was just implying, like, I don't really think he's a threat at the moment.
Arada's just crying profusely, just like just big hugs, just like I knew it couldn't be true. We wouldn't have given up like that.
I being the one that like tries to do it. After all this hugging is done, I kind of back up and go, all right, we have a job to do. Stop the futures that we saw. Let's get to it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, Arada tries to
Fan
stiffen
let
up.
out a yip.
Yeah.
Fan communicates to you. He was unaffected by the jutsu.
Okay, I was gonna ask him.
He just saw you guys like fall over, and he sort of tried to drag you to a safe spot and did his best to feed and water you while you were down. And that was sort of the extent of what he could do.
Yeah, I just thank him, and I do not give him the extent of the dream, but rather just like, yeah, they put us in some kind of bad genjutsu, but we made it out, buddy, like that kind of thing.
He yips confidently, knowing that you would make it through. Knowing. Whatever.
But yeah, all right, Arada's a happy little boy now, and walks over. I'm like, all right, well, as Izuto said, let's see what's going on here.
Is the figure moving at all, Hudson? I just want to slowly approach.
Yeah, he occasionally twitches and jerks. You see that as you sort of get a little closer and you can have a better angle now, he is surrounded by a ceiling jutsu sphere, like a, well, words are wrong right now. Not a bubble. It's just a ritual circle of ceiling jutsu, sort of similar to the ones that you saw previous. There is at the top of it, the line sort of extends down into the pool and further along. You can't see where it ends from where you are. Also, his eyes are closed right now.
Okay.
I look at Suiko's the one that examined the seal at the last pool, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Suiko, is this looking like the last one we dealt with?
Hudson, do I need to roll to see if I know this?
Sure. Go ahead and make a. What we let you roll last time?
Insight?
I don't think it would.
It wasn't insight.
I think it was either perception or intelligence.
Oh.
Yeah, go ahead and roll an intelligence check with advantage. I think that's how I've been doing it. It's basically a ninjutsu check with advantage, since you're familiar with ninjutsu. Okay, yeah, so the ceiling is quite different from the one that you encountered in the pool. As best you can tell, the seals around Shinikichi, they're meant to basically torture him with little electrical pulses and keep him sort of sort of at the bare edge of consciousness. It is also linked to something that is further along in the pool. Yeah.
Okay, well, I tell this. So, what's the play here? I kind of want to go in the pool and just frick around.
Well,
yeah.
Do we not just end it like last time?
You just want to.
I mean, more than likely, if you want to go look at the seal in the pool, Suiko, that's fine. Just, be careful. Test the water first.
Anything suspicious happens if I dip my toe in the water?
No.
Yeet!
All right. You swim to the bottom
right,
of the
you die.
pool where the previous seal was. There's a similar seal here. It does have this one. This one has more similarities to the one that you saw previously. It's currently being supplied by Shinikichi's chakra. You can sense that. However, in addition to that, instead of the Jonin floating at the bottom there, in two little bubbles, there are two little Sharingan eyes that are activated. Just sort of floating near the bottom center.
Okay. I come back to the surface and I relay the information. I'm like, I kind of want to bring the Sharingan eyes out. Scale 1 to 10. How about if I'm guess?
Wait, are you saying this to us or are you
saying this to us?
Yeah. I said as I came to the surface.
Okay, I can go and bring them out since I can bring them out in the bubbles of water. I wouldn't recommend just putting your hand in it. And touching eyeballs. As far as it goes, it might also be linked to the Sharingans, and Sharingans do provide chakra.
I think first we are gonna need to take out Shinikichi. And while I don't like going this way, I do now understand sometimes it's necessary, and that's okay.
I have a shame to ask him why he was willing to do this.
I kind of pipe up and go, I don't know if he was willing. From what you've told us, it doesn't seem like he likes Uchihas, but
yeah,
I'm not sure how other to do this.
Yeah. I think Arada kind of steps forward and goes, I will handle the body if you want to go get the get the eyes, Izuto. And he steps forward and uses his medical kit rather to try to make it as painless of a death, even though he has been tortured. Tries to kind of maybe concoct some kind of poison that's gonna painlessly put him to permanent sleep.
Okay, go to make a medicine check with advantage.
We love our poisons, baby. Son of a bitch.
You do your best. You administer the poison. Shinikichi, his eyelids peel back to reveal his empty sockets.
Yeah, I figured as much. Mm-hmm.
He sort of reaches out and grabs you just for a moment and looks at you as best, without his eyes, and turns towards one another. And you used to hear him whisper his last words, "Thank you." And he, with one last sort of shudder, eyelids go back down and he sort of slumps, no longer breathing.
Well, that gave me a little bit of goosebumps, not gonna front. Arada stands up, kind of looking at Shinikichi. Are you still here, Izuto, or have you yoinked in?
I think I would have joinked in by now.
Okay. Well, I at least look at Suiko.
You collect the Sharingan easily enough. You maintain them in sort of the bubble barriers that they came with.
Gotcha. Well, once Izuto comes up, I just look at the both of them. I'm like, yeah, we're killing this piece of shit.
I look down at Shinikichi. You mean him or touch?
No. Or I guess were you not here to hear the last words?
No, I would have.
You would have been in the water. Okay, he just got. I gotcha. No. Shinikichi very clearly did not choose to be in the situation he was in. As I tried to give him a painless death, he thanked me for killing him. So
yeah,
I'm getting pretty damn tired of Tetch personally.
Fortunately, I Figured as much. I don't think he'd keep an Uchiha for friendly reasons.
How about we give him proper burial? I'll pick him up.
Yeah, I agree.
I'll pick him up.
Yeah, Arada will come help and Than, I suppose.
Yeah, I make a pretty decent like earth. One of my jutsus being sand coffin.
The coffin,
binding.
yeah.
I make a pretty good coffin. No need to waste any effort on like digging dirt. I just kind of move it out of the way and put him in as gently as possible.
Than likes digging, dude.
Give him a little makeshift grave as well.
All right. With Shinikichi buried, and the pool, I didn't mention, but when he died, you did feel a bit of a shifting in the air, similar to the last pool. There is still an effect that is on this region, but it is lessened in its intensity.
Nice. All right. Well, I suppose let's go get Sakagiri and head back now. We frankly need to.
What are we doing?
The eyes.
I mean,
I looked at Than. Well, you guys always joked.
Can I make it?
That backs up a little bit frightened.
Can I make a history check to kind of see what I know about like the Sharingans and stuff?
Sure.
From like a just clan perspective. I imagine I've read up on them fairly well, so I'm just curious.
Wait, seeing as he's our Hokage.
9, jeez. Okay. Yeah. What do you want to know? Like in terms of what has been done with Sharingan?
Can we implant them?
The obvious question is, can we implant them?
So the answer is yes. However, the person who you implant them into needs to have at least somewhere in their bloodline a little bit of Uchiha.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be a lot. It could be like a great grandmother or something like that. But there does need to be.
Everyone, what's your blood? What's your
Second
bloodline?
history check. Does anybody here
Do any of the 4 of us, including Than, have Uchiha on their bloodline?
So Than, you can rule out.
Damn it!
I suppose for you guys, you can all roll. You can roll your own separate history checks.
Hey.
I don't think anyone would be an expert.
Before
I have
everybody
a
rolls
question,
this is
but
going to
yes.
be really funny, because if Arada, that means an Uchiha has a Nindog, his mother or father. If
Yeah.
Suiko has Uchiha, that means her dad's an Uchiha, which is funny. And then Izuto, I mean, I guess it could go either way. That one's not as funny, but
10.
10.
24.
24. It's Izuto.
Izuto, your parents, they lived in the land of wind for a very long time. There wasn't a whole lot of, crossover there. So you're pretty sure that there's no one, even a distant ancestor, that would be an Uchiha. You're the first member of your family to have lived in the village hidden in the leaves, as far as you know.
Sad.
Izuto or Arada and Suiko, I mean, you don't think so, but you're not sure.
With Izuto's history check, do we know has anyone in history ever attempted to implant them and it not been Uchiha blood, and what are the consequences?
Yes, that's happened somewhat frequently. I mean, other clans, whenever they find an Uchiha corpse, that's one of the first things that they try.
Of course.
And I mean, it usually doesn't end up, it doesn't. They're able to use the eye, but they aren't able to use the Sharingan. They aren't able to activate it, basically. So I mean, if the surgery is botched, then obviously it would cause issues.
Yes.
But yeah.
Do we think there's a way we can transfer these to the place? Because then we could perform much smoother surgery. While I did learn a little bit from Izuto, and I have some medical knowledge, I don't know if me performing a surgery out here is going to be very effective.
No,
Are we certain that we want to implant these, or should we just return them to Haruto?
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
so I was like, that's kind of the main thing here. If Haruto wants them, I just don't want to leave them out because Sharingan is so
Yeah.
powerful.
No, yeah, we don't want to leave them with
And
Shinikichi
if
in case someone
and
comes back.
as much as I trust your surgery, Arada, I prefer if we are going to do a surgery, we do it at the temple.
Yes, yes. Oh, yes, going there. Well, you know, that's
mean,
less exciting personally, but
I know
okay.
you've been trained by Izuto, but I don't know
Um,
if she trained you double eye implant surgery.
you don't know what I'm capable of.
No, you're right.
With
You're right.
my
You're right.
medical kit and vials and stuff, could I create some kind of like, I mean, not a makeshift jar necessarily, but like, do I have a vial or something big enough to fit these eyes where like I could kind of keep them somewhat safe as long as we're not like entering combat with them or something?
Yeah, I think yeah. You could devise a fluid. I mean, it was kind of already in a fluid that was sustaining it. So
Okay.
yeah.
I'll just
Yeah.
pull out one of my
was like-
vials then that's big enough, and have you just put them in there,
We'll
and
put-
put in my
I'll
medical
put them
kit.
in there with what they're in, and then kind of fill it up with water, and then freeze the water.
Okay. You can add Shinikichi Sharingan to your inventory, Arada.
Fun. I mean, my vote is on returning them to Haruto. Get it
Yeah,
back to
well,
Ichigo.
that's dumb and lame,
Art.
so.
Are
is
any of us
lame.
capable of using them? Because I studied a shit ton of genjutsu. I can tell you right now, I'd be shit at using them.
Anyways, now that we have that, okay, so let's go get Sakagiri, make our way back. We've knocked out 2 pools. I would say it's a very solid journey. Would we have an idea if it's the same day or not?
Like I said, it's currently nighttime.
And that's kind of all we know time-wise.
Yeah.
I guess my phone's battery's
Oh,
dead.
actually, never mind. Than would know. So yeah, it is the night
yeah.
of the day that you stopped. So yeah,
Okay.
you're fine. But it is like
Perfect.
middle of the night, basically.
Okay. So yeah, I say we travel to Sakagiri. We can all like crash hiding in the woods. So we're not like traveling exhausted. Actually, do we feel rested, or are we tired after this genjutsu we were put through?
Yeah, you're kind of tired. Yeah,
Okay.
the sleep that you got was not very restful.
Okay, then yeah, I say we get to Sakagiri, and kind of crash, create some kind of little hidden camp, and then head back, or at least go from there. Are we in agreements?
Mm-hmm.
Sure. I mean, from a meta perspective, do we keep the things?
Like
What things?
our travel squares.
Yeah, travel squares.
No, you would not. However, you're able to travel back to the pool if that's what you want to do. You still have your mounts waiting outside, and they're willing to travel.
Then yes.
Okay. Then yes, we'll just
Okay.
crash at the.
So basically, you arrive like very, very late into the night, almost getting to like the the hours before dawn. Sakagiri, waves you guys down. He created a little campsite for himself, but he made it big enough that it could accommodate other people just in case. He's always planning ahead.
Smart kid.
Does Sakagiri have a response to how absolutely tired and defeated we look?
I don't know. Do you guys look that defeated?
I don't think I looked
I was like,
defeated. I'd
physically,
be pretty
no.
pumped.
Bro, I'm good. I'm goaded with the sauce.
I mean, you kind of
We took
expect you
another
guys
pool.
to be tired after this big fight,
Yeah.
so that doesn't really surprise him that
I think
much.
we'd
like,
probably
if
be
anything,
less
I was
tired
gonna
than you
say,
think.
other way around is
Yeah.
like, he probably is like, damn, not a scratch on y'all, huh? That's fucking crazy.
There he is. In any case, you guys rest. Due to your exhaustion, you're able to fall asleep. You kind of have dreamless sleeps, mercifully, after this fairly horrible experience.
Thank God.
You wake up sort of later in the morning, sleeping in. Sakagiri doesn't wake you up, wanting you guys to get a full, the advantage of a full rest there.
What does that do for
Go
us,
and make
DM?
Constitution. Go ahead and make Constitution checks for all of you. Is that Than's actual stuff right now? Is he not damaged or?
He should have 26. He should have 26 chakra.
Okay.
Because
All right. So yeah. So make sure to.
Because we short rested and he gets half his stuff, so he would be a 26
Right.
chakra.
So Constitution checks for all of you.
Okay. And it's just a check, not a save.
Yeah, just a check.
Should be the same for me, by the way. Go Arada, huh? Than is. Oh, he's a +2. Look at you, bud. Than goes crazy.
Okay. So everyone except for Arada,
Okay.
you enjoy the benefits of a long rest.
And I'm just chilling.
shit out of luck.
Cool. I love that. I love that.
I was like, for the sake of it, we're just gonna bring it back down.
Doesn't go anywhere without his dust coat now.
I know 103 is my max chakra now. I've accepted that.
In any case, Sakagiri sort of noticing, at least with the exception of Arada, that you guys appear to like be fully 100%. He says, the fact that we 2 pools are down must mean that we're able to rest, at least potentially, even outside of the inn. This changes things strategically for us.
Agreed.
Oh yeah.
We can move now.
With those bodies, by the way, can I medicine check the 3 Jonin that he had with them to make sure, try to either stabilize them further or just ensure they're not like dying on us?
Yeah, go ahead. You can make a medicine check.
18.
God,
Okay.
I hope Kumo appreciates us keeping these guys alive.
Arada's not letting the innocent die, bro. Not after that dream. Tell you what.
The Jonin appear to be doing. Actually, here. Go ahead.
Oh wait, yeah. Con saves for them all or con checks for them all?
We only need one. Yeah, they're doing surprisingly well. They're not combat ready by any stretch,
Yes.
but they look considerably better than when you left them. You get the sense this is like the first good sleep that they've had in a long time. And Sakagiri's has been feeding them like real food and stuff. And yeah, they're you could probably safely like travel with them as long as you're not going super fast or anything.
Okay. Yeah.
Gotcha.
How is rolling for hexes gonna work since there's so many of us now?
Well, I mean, you guys are gonna have to carry them. They're not able to travel by themselves. You'd have to carry them on your mounts.
Okay, put
So
them
you'd
on
be
the
rolling.
birds.
You'd be rolling for the mounts, basically. The mounts, Suiko and Than.
Good. You said it's a +8.
Yeah. So Sakagiri has to roll for his mount as well. Not.
Rolling athletics,
I'm
right?
great.
So wait. So
Yeah,
Arada's
athletics.
rolling a +8 and Than's rolling his athletics.
Yes.
Okay, but good. We're above 15.
And Than is he's +1. I forget his athletics is kind of dog water. I think Than should get to roll dex, I'll say it.
Ooh.
He dexterously.
Runs.
All right. So divided by 5. 17. All right. Well, I mean that's still pretty good, all things considered. Didn't quite break the 20 barrier, but got close. 24 hexes.
Than's still worried about
Let's
Arada.
go back to the map here. And since you guys woke up a little later, I'm gonna eat 2 of those hexes. Yum 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 yum. So
They better have tasted good.
that's fantastic. Update the map here.
Rip Shinikichi.
Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the. Anyway. Whip. What would you guys like? Where'd you guys like to go? What would you like to do?
I suppose just the most efficient way back
Go up
to
the mountain. Yeah,
Red Silk Inn.
that too.
Let's do. I think Silk Inn first. And then we consider our options.
But didn't we all have a nice long rest?
Most of us did. We're not
No,
all as
we
good
all-
as you. We're not all as good as you. Shut up.
Yeah, we go to the inn, which I'm guessing it's just.
Yeah, it's probably to the road and then
down.
down.
Yeah. Yeah, probably so.
I was like, I don't think this makes up for it.
Yeah, the one extra hex for like 13.
Yeah,
Whatever it is.
I don't think it makes up for it. Not quite.
11. 12. All right. So you guys have.
Let's just go play cards with Canara and Yanada.
Take a day off. You
Yeah.
deserve a break.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
what I'm
I felt like we cleared out 2 pools really fast.
Yeah.
So I feel like we bought a day
Um,
at least.
I feel like the rest of the Konoha could put in some work on this next one. You know what I mean? Let them go handle it. We'll deal with it later.
Yeah, make them take down one of the toughest guys.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
There's actually only the really scary ones left.
Shh, everyone.
Be like
shh, we
cannon
don't gotta-
fodder.
We don't gotta bring that up right now. You know what I mean?
All right, let me put you on the in here.
Guys.
So I suppose you guys drop off the Jonin. They have, they've been caring for their other wounded, so they just add more to the group there. Yeah. What you guys like to do? You have 11 hexes left for today.
Oh boy, oh boy.
I would
Okay.
like to run up and
Yeah, I was about to say I would definitely see Nariba, and kind of the same instance. They're probably both looking at each other like, what are these freaking weirdos doing? But just kind of running up like, oh my god, like I missed you so much. I hasn't been okay over here. Blah blah blah.
Yeah, they embrace you. A little confused, but recognizing that you've probably been through some horrible shit. Hug you back, sort of trying to comfort you, I suppose. In any case, you guys quickly catch up with them. What would you guys like to do?
All right. I kind of get to my usual spot of the table. All right. As for the pools, 2 of them are down. It seems with some testing or other. Well, actually, mind my manners. I hope everybody's doing well today. It's been quite a few days for us. But regardless,
Things have been quiet, Hodashi says.
That's good to hear. We've experienced probably our most mentally challenging fight. To get down to the brass tacks of it all, don't want to give any details. Resting seems to be okay, at least for the most part. It's still a bit iffy, but we took down 2 pools, so I think we can start spreading and taking some of this back.
Hodashi nods and says, I mean, that's good to hear. If we can recover our chakra wherever, I mean, that's going to significantly open us up. We don't have to worry about defending the inn quite as much. Suiko, you hear a distant voice. It sounds very much like Bakira, like echoing over like 100, a long mountain chain, a long mountain range from mountain to mountain. Distantly, it says, the voice says, "We're coming, hang on."
Okay.
In any case, Izuto, please.
All right. As for the plan, and I kind of pull out the map, I believe we have dealt with the what's it called? We have dealt with the town, and I kind of point to it, with the sparrow there. As far as thank you. We have dealt with the fort, as you all know, and we have dealt with the town. Taking the 2 pools as well today gives us a pretty good section to the right here. There's still some sightings of what we believe is Kagugi to the left, closer to the inn. We could, and I'm willing to hear your thoughts on this, we could take the fort, since it is, well, a fort and has rations and things of that nature, or we take the city. But with the city, the citizens seem to favor the dragon, so I am not confident on that one. I believe if we move to the fort, it'll be more centralized to most of the places that we are going to have to check, apart from Kagugi. We can check out.
Sakagiri is nodding along with you, and everyone's sort of paying rapt attention to your strategic planning. When appearing in the middle of the table.
Don't, dude. If Touch pulls up, I lose my fucking mind. Okay.
Just wanted to freak you out a little bit.
Arada's about to go fucking crazy. I was about to lose it.
You to roll for initiative.
No, actually, I would have been like, just go ahead, call it. This do or die.
Like, I'm not listening to another fucking.
It's do or die. I don't know what to tell you.
In any case, she looks around and sort of brushes herself off, and she says, "Hey, heard you guys were back."
Canara, always with the entrance.
So wait. How does everyone else react? Because do they?
A number of them like get up and like draw their weapons.
Yeah, okay,
and sort
that's
of
what I
back
figured.
away.
Yeah, I kind of shout very quickly, and I'm like, no, 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 no. This was the one we had told you, the last one to join our side. Everyone, weapons down, please. She means no harm.
Well, and yeah, once he finishes, I kind of raise my hand and go, "Well, everybody, meet Canara, the songbird of entrances." It seems.
That's kind of funny. I feel like, yeah, unironically, I think she has made like the most. Well, because she can teleport. Okay.
Yeah.
Makes the coolest entrances.
Yeah.
Kianara, hearing your title for, sort of snorts with disdain, but the people around her do eventually calm down and sort of replace their weapons. Still clearly kind of on alert, but
Fair.
not actively
Fair.
hostile. Kianara says, so, based off of the vibes I'm getting, I feel that 2 of the pools have been taken out. Which 2 and who are the sparrows that you took out?
We took out Tanari, the disease-ridden one, and we took out the Uchiha.
That's good, but that leaves Iwashi, Kagugi, and Tech, right?
Yes.
Arada chuckles nervously. Yeah.
The 3,
Excuse me.
well, closest to the dragons, yes.
Kianara starts, she sort of bursts out in laughter, sort of slapping her knees, and she says, serves him right making such a stupid deal. She, controlling herself, looks back up at you guys and says, I negotiated with Tamasu. He said if you guys could take out 2 more of them, he'd be willing to join us. I think he had hoped that it would be at least Iwashi or Kagugi, though, as one of those 2. Yeah, serves him right.
Hey, he's not neutral anymore. That's awesome.
She shrugs and she says, yeah, I suppose it is for us. I don't know about those wounded individuals at the hospital, how they might feel, or at the temple, rather. But whatever, not my problem. Anyway, I suppose now you've got us 3 on your side. Obviously, my partner in crime, so to speak, I didn't have any trouble convincing him once he learned that I was on your side. Well, anyway,
Kianara.
what do you want us to do?
Kianara, are you still holding to your end of not providing, too much direct help until we have everyone but Tech gone?
That was my plan, but with Tamamasu on our side, if you're sending me, Yanada, and Tamamasu to a place, I'd be okay with fighting other Sparrow. If it was just me and Yanada, I was nervous about that, but with 3 of us, I'm pretty sure we could take out one of the 2, Iwashi or Kagugi.
Which one do you think you have a better chance up against?
Probably Iwashi, but I mean, they're both kind of monsters.
Well, fighting style wise, since you would probably be much more knowledgeable than us, do you think splitting or who do you think sending who where would oh my god, who do you think sending where would be the best bet for success?
She shrugs and says, I mean, it depends on how much time we got, right? If we have all the time in the world, then we should all just go wherever together and deal with, either of them, both of them, whatever. Depends on how much time we got. Suiko, make another perception check, please. Okay. Yeah, so that's what she says.
Well, seeing as we don't know the exact time, I do think splitting 3-3 might or would probably be our best bet. Izuto.
Yeah, I believe splitting is.
Okay. Never mind. So there's cries of warning and alarm outside.
Shit.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I immediately kind of look up. And I'm like, well, meeting adjourned for now. And jump outside.
Yeah, I follow in suit.
I would like to just take like a quick little second to whisper to Izuto and Arada what I heard, even though I'm pretty sure it doesn't make a difference now.
All right. We'll talk about it when we get back.
Yeah. So I guess we jump out to the balcony, being the closest outward spot.
Conveniently enough, it is visible from the balcony.
We love that.
Off in the distance, where be
Motherfucker, dude.
Can't have one fucking.
where you see the slopes.
Friendly.
You see the slopes of Mount Nochi, covered in snow, at least the upper portions. Somewhat similar to the lighthouse in the land hidden in the mist, or the land of water rather. There is a massive beam of light shooting to the sky.
Fuck already. Jesus
Oh,
Christ.
No.
As you guys like rushed out, like people are beginning to follow after you, and everyone is sort of observing this.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I'd turn to Izuto first and just go, well, are we full sending?
I think this changes things. I think we just go to the mountain.
I would agree. And I guess depending on who all steps out, specifically looking for like Canara, Hodashi, and Sakagiri kind of being like our main three talking points right now.
Yeah, those three do go out to join you, sort of representing the brain power of the three groups that you've gathered.
Yeah, I turn to them and, obviously I'm assuming they can see what's going on. And I'm like, well, y'all ready for a mountainous assault?
Sakagiri shakes his head. He says, I'm not so sure about that, Arada. We can't just leave the other sparrows to do what they want. Canara nods and says, I don't know why Kagugi is out where he is, but you can be assured that he's there for a reason. Tetch wants him there. I mean, I hate to agree with Pipsqueak here, but we can't just leave him to do whatever he wants. I don't know about Awashi. I mean, the final pool, it's pretty close. He could come up as a reinforcement.
Yeah,
and
run back up.
Yeah, I mean, Arada, I agree too. I mean, I don't want to face Tetch and those two at the same time.
No, we can split. Arada's like, no, of course. I am more than okay with us splitting three to take him out. I was more just making sure we were all on the same.
Puts up a hand and says, I'm not sure if that's the best option either, Arada. Technically, if our goal here is to defeat Tetch.
All right, well, what do you suggest?
Okay. We're open to opinions, guys.
Yeah, you can. Fuck.
Sakagiri sort of looks from side to side, clearly a little like nervous about talking like this, but he continues on. He says, the way I see it, we got a few options. I think our goal should be to delay Kagugi and Awashi, not necessarily send enough force to actually defeat them. Because any force, that extra force, that just reduces the strength of our assault on the mountain.
True.
I know it sounds a little heartless because if we don't send enough to kill them, then we're risking whatever force we send to delay them. But if we want the mission to be successful, that might be a sacrifice we have to make.
Schmeep schmop. Arada looks down.
Canara, go ahead and make a perception check, Arada.
I don't wanna. Is this just like looking?
Yeah. Okay. You see Canara hearing this suggestion from Sakagiri, looking at you very closely as she waits for your response.
Yeah. I look up and I say, well, I think if we are going to send someone to slow them down, it does need to be to some extent, volunteer basis. And I see Canara looking at me very intently. And I say, well, yeah, it would be great to send our sparrow friends. I'm not going.
I didn't catch that last part.
Which part? Can you hear me?
There it is.
Yeah.
Okay. Which part did we miss?
All of it.
Okay. Okay. I was looking down and kind of looks up. He goes, well, if we are going to send someone on a mission like that, it needs to be a somewhat volunteer basis. I'm not going to force someone to go to their death, or possible death rather. And I kind of give a like almost like a nod to Canara, as we did make the deal, and Arada's going to stand by his word. And kind of looks at Sakagiri and, well, yes, our sparrow friends would probably be best at stalling them. I'm not going to ask them to do that. If they want to, I'll let that decision be up to them, but I did promise them we wouldn't use them as sacrificial pawns.
Canara sort of shifts. She says, "All right, that makes sense. Yeah, me, Hinata, and Tamasu. I think it makes sense for us to go after Iwashi since we're the ones who are able to get to him faster, frankly. Your group, you'll still need to find amongst yourselves someone to distract Kagugi, though.
Arada turns to Kianara and says, "All right, and you're okay with this plan?"
I'm okay with going and I mean, the fact that we don't have to defeat him, we only have to keep him out of the fight makes things a lot easier from my perspective.
Hey,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that we can handle it.
all that means is you have to be faster than him, and I give her a little wink. And then I kind of turn back to Sakagiri and, well, as for distraction,
You guys do?
Yeah.
Hey, Hudson,
am I
how
cutting out? God damn it!
I rolled kind of high on my perception. Do I know how exactly far away Pakira's voice was?
You did roll pretty high. All right, I'll say. I mean, by the nature of this jutsu, it's very difficult for you to judge the distance precisely. But you'd estimate probably 4 to 5 days out.
If we can wait that long.
I guess assuming the normal pace for a ninja to travel. If they have like something special that's making them go faster, it could be faster.
Okay.
Okay, so did y'all hear none of my second portion?
Nope.
Okay.
We ended with I look at Sakagiri.
Oh, so you heard the wink at Kianara?
Well, Kianara agreed to your plan, Sheep. We heard that part.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I looked to Kianara and just made a little aside where I was like, well, I guess you just have to be faster than him.
Yes, I
and
heard
give
that
her like a
part.
little smirk. Okay, yeah, I didn't really say much after that. Yeah, I said that and looked at Sakagiri, and had said, or I hadn't even said anything.
Odashi interrupts at this point, and he says, "Listen, Arada, I appreciate. I mean, you're a good guy. That's one of the things that's cool about you. But last time Mr. Izuto here, he made a speech about, not insisting that anyone stick around. We had a significant reduction in our forces as a result of that. I'm not confident that if you give the same sort of speech again and saying it's probably going to be a death mission, a suicide mission, I'm not sure if my guys are going to stick up to that. Not twice."
Understandably so, Adachi.
Yeah,
Sakagiri, sort of realizing his point, says, "What he's saying is, it's gonna have to be the Konoha who go after Kagugi."
Yeah, I was about to say I'm not gonna. That's fine. I'm still not gonna ask them to do it. As for
He's
the
not gonna
Konoha
what?
people,
What's he not gonna do?
Cliffhanger.
The true cliffhanger.
Hudson, have you watched Chainsaw Man?
I have not.
What?
It hasn't. We made a deal with the devil of cliffhangers. You can't talk.
I'm so confused.
Arada,
y'all are
can
saying
you
it
say
cuts.
something? I think we might be able to hear you.
Yeah, can you hear
There he
me?
is.
Yes, we can
Okay,
hear
y'all
you.
keep saying I cut off, but then repeat everything up to the point that I don't say anything afterwards.
Well, we say it like right after. So I
It
don't know if you
sounded
stop.
like you were about to say something.
Well, I was, but I
Well,
hadn't. Like, I don't
was
say
like-
anything. You say I cut off, and then you repeat everything I said up to that point.
Well, the problem is you go like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Like that.
I mean, it might be because
So
I
you
stopped talking, so the mic like cuts. Unless that was bad too, and you didn't hear it.
Regardless.
All right, one second recording.
I think so. Yeah.
There it is.
We'll see if it's better. Is it better or at least good right now?
It's fine right
now.
So far.
All right.
Yeah. Regardless, yes, Sakagiri. I understand what he's saying.
I mean, by the way this lady Kianara is talking about things, he sounds like a tough customer. I mean, it's up to you guys, obviously, the final decision. I think if we want to just delay him, and if we're more okay with the potential suicide mission, we could probably only afford sending maybe 2/3 of us, and then send the last squad with you guys. If we want to go for a kill mission, it'd probably have to be all of us.
We have to send
we have
2/3 of Konoha?
yeah, it's like 2 of the 3 squads. Yeah, we have well, and I kind of notion to Arada.
Arada is pondering here.
We might have an ace up our sleeves depending on how this goes from the last pool, as I notion out Arada.
Well, yeah, I give an aside. Are you referring to the Sharingans?
Well, yeah.
What do you? Okay, are we wanting to bring those out? I pull them out and hand them to you. I don't know what the fuck you. There you go. There you go.
Okay. With these, coming a very skilled Uchiha, one of the songbirds. It's possible it might give at least Haruto a big enough amp to where he could maybe handle them. It would surpass his.
Sakigiri shakes his head. He says, "I mean, maybe if we have more time, if we do a surgery, he's not going to recover fast enough."
Is there any kind of way eyes can be used without a surgery? Like any kind of jutsu or anything that anybody knows?
There's a third eye from the Jitan.
You can go and make an intelligence check. Well, actually, I guess you are asking the group, so Sakagiri will make the intelligence check.
I was like, whoever's got the highest number here.
Okay. Sakagiri shakes his head. He says, "Not really. There's some ways of doing it with sealing jutsu, but unless Suiko knows some pretty specific stuff." And he looks over at Suiko.
Oh, Jesus. God, do I know this? I don't think I do.
No, you do not. You saw how Tech did it at the pool. So there clearly is a way to do it without the Uchiha directly involved, but it's far beyond what you know about sealing jutsu.
All right, well, I relay that information to Sakagiri. I'm like, no, unfortunately not.
So that'd be a no then. I mean, I mean, keep thinking. I mean, I come up with any ideas or whatever. But I don't think that'll be particularly helpful, at least not in the here and now.
Okay.
Alternatively, if we do want to wait and take some time, we could. We don't know exactly what the beam in the sky means. It could mean that, next week the portals are going to be activated or something like that. I mean, I doubt it, but we technically don't know. We have no idea what the beam in the sky necessarily means.
Fair point, but I believe at this point the beam in the sky means Kenjiro is about to outlast his usefulness or just did.
Sakagiri nods. He says, "That might be so. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, my job is to make sure that this is a successful mission, even if that means potentially sacrificing, unfortunately, your sensei or us."
Yeah, Arada just kind of looks up and is like, again, I am not giving any order to anyone to do that. I just can't. I will not tell someone to go kill themselves for this situation.
What if one of us go with the 2/3?
To try to stall out.
All be there.
Yeah, I wouldn't feel comfortable unless all three of you are up against Tech. You guys are the only ones who stand a chance, and taking away a third of you would not be helpful.
I'm okay with giving them this mission, but giving them like strict instructions of like not directly engaging to kill, but engaging rather as like
are we
purely
sending
stall.
all of them or 2/3 is the problem?
Well, I was assuming 2/3 for like a stalling.
Yeah, that's more the question here: is how much of your force do you want to dedicate to doing this?
To that.
Because the more force you dedicate to that, the less you'll have for the actual
So
assault.
do we, like, according to Canara's information, are we like pretty confident that Tech is the only known sparrow up on the hill and the other two are like in their spots? I know we don't know exactly where the guy on the left is, but
Canara knew yes. And
Um,
also, as you point this out, she says, I mean, I guess technically Awashi could be anywhere, but I have to imagine he'd still be guarding the last pool, because that's sort of one of the main things that's keeping us from just
Us
all
at bay.
going there.
yeah.
And if Kagugi was moving around, I would be able to spot him pretty easily. He is not the very stealthy type.
Okay. Noted. I think that. So wait. Would Hodashi's forces be coming with us to the mountain then?
Hodashi nods and he says, they'll follow me there. That was sort of the plan all along, is for them to be our ground.
I am okay with sending the Konoha squadron to deal with the people on the left if we're getting Hodashi and his gang.
Through gritted teeth, I'm like, I lost Naki once.
Survival.
I don't think I want to risk losing her again.
Yeah, but sending 2/3 there is more likely to live, and then if we're sending 2/3 and bringing Naki with us, I also don't know if that really increases her odds of survival, to be honest with you. Unless you're just going to tell her to sit here and do nothing, in which case, I don't know how she'll take that.
That's fine. It's okay if she dislikes me for a bit.
Sakagiri sort of pipes up. He says, no, I mean, I understand, but you cannot be making these decisions based off stuff like that.
Yeah.
I kind of like Izuto, and I'm like, while I understand the feeling, I do firmly believe
no,
sending...
obviously you don't. I walk in. Make your choice.
Sakagiri looks back. He says, wow, you guys must have... Was there like a genjutsu or something that messed you guys up at the Uchiha pool?
Yeah, quite a bit.
You're really good at guessing.
It definitely hit Izuto the hardest. And you know,
I mean, he's not really making sense, but in terms of best chances, sending all 12 of us, all the Konoha, to Kagugi and telling us to delay rather than kill, I mean, that's the best compromise that I can think of in terms of survivability and being useful.
Yeah, I also don't think Naki listens to him even if he tells her to do that, so I don't think that works out even if he wants it to work out that way. But yes, I think survivability wise, to minimize risk, we send Konoha to them together, with again the affirmation of delay, don't kill, don't directly engage, putting yourself in danger. And then us and Hodashi's forces go up, and then Canara and her squad go delay Owari? I forget the name, but
Iwashi.
Canara
sort of folds her arms and she says, listen, Arada, I feel that, this is a good group. She sort of gestures to you guys and to the Konoha people at the table.
Mm-hmm.
She says, I mean, you guys all clearly care for each other. It'd be kind of a shame if you guys would have to feel the grief of losing those bonds. If we can manage it, and I'm not saying that we can, but if we can, we'll try to kill Iwashi and come reinforce your Konoha group. If we feel like we can.
Yeah, Arada lights up at just her saying this. Just because you would do that for us?
She shrugs and she says, like I said, if I feel like we can do it without risking any of us, any of our lives. That said, I suppose I should leave the decision to you. If we manage to beat Iwashi, do you want us to go help Konoha or go up to the mountain, guys?
I want you to go help Konoha first. As long as you are comfortable and your squad feels up to it, I would like you to go ensure they do not die, because we will not be without backup. And kind of nods to Hodashi. And I think worst case, we can stall things out and at least do what needs to be done.
Canara shrugs and she says, "If those are your that's what you prefer, then I'm down with it."
So what are you telling me to do? You want her to finish the bears to finish off the first guy and then go help Konoha?
If they can, yeah. So they're gonna try to fight Awashi, and if they kill Awashi, they will try to run to where Konoha is, as long as they are not like bruised and battered.
Yeah.
And help them out.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like those odds.
And then Canara as well. I look at Sakagiri. When Canara gets there, are you okay with them kind of taking point and taking lead in the situation?
That's more than fine with me. I'm just worried, Arada, that you're dedicating not enough force to the main assault. I mean, that's the priority here. If we don't get up that mountain, if those dragons start coming, it's over.
While this is true, I mean, Sakagiri, do you feel y'all can delay without too much death? Or any, rather?
I'm going to be honest with you. After seeing those sparrows up close and hearing that Kagugi is more powerful than the ones that we faced, or, well, really just Tonori, it's going to be rough no matter what you guys do. We all came here with the intention of stopping these guys, okay? You know, we're ninja. We put our lives on the line for this stuff. I mean, we'll all follow your orders. You guys are in charge here. I'm just make sure you understand what you're doing here. You're going into battle with one arm tied behind your back, potentially.
Arada looks at the 4, seeing as he doesn't have Izuto to help make any decisions.
Here, actually, I'm gonna make one quick check for myself. Okay. I come out, or Izuto comes out, with a iron sheath, kind of sword-looking thing at his hip, no longer being kind of wrapped in the ancient stuff. Now having a full iron sheath. I assuming the M22 would make a viable enough sheath for a sword.
That is reasonable, yes.
Okay. Having the engravings, or at least like the kanji of, or at least trying to have the kanjis kind of indented, the names of all the Konoha people here, with the biggest 3 being Arada, Suiko, and Naki. Thanatos is there too, I guess, the biggest 4.
Naki or Izuto?
Even with one hand tied behind my back, tied behind all our backs, as I look at the team, I think we got this. I'm willing to die for it, and I kind of looking pretty confident at this point. I calm my head down. You're right. I can't make choices for her, and it's unfair of me too. I think we can do this. I assume the choices you guys made were trying to keep most of Konoha alive and the sparrows taking Iwashi. That's what I assume has been at least the main talking point. I've heard some of it. I think we can do this, even with one hand tied behind our backs.
Sakagiri nods and he says, "Okay, you seem like you're more yourself now." And Izuto, he sort of steps forward and puts a hand on your shoulder. Says, "You're just as smart as me. So if this is the decision that you're making, I believe that it's the right one."
It's a decision I've made. I guess I look at the other 2. I'm like, but the final decision is up to everybody. But I believe this is it puts it all on us, and I think we can handle it.
Sakagiri steps back and nods. All right, we've got our plan figured out then, huh? Canara nods. Hodashi nods as well. Hodashi looks over at you, Arada. He says, "Listen, I don't know what's waiting up for us on that mountain. but I can basically guarantee that at least some of my forces and possibly me myself won't be coming back. You, whenever you become a Hokage, and he grins and continues, he says, just do what you can for my land too, okay? It's not the best. You don't need to tell me that. I live here.
Yeah, Arada stiffens up, especially when he makes the "when you become Hokage" comment, and walks up and bear hugs him. I think possibly for the first time Arada has done it to him, and kind of like just talking to him through like a mixture of like happy, sad, and like a little bit of honoring. It says, I assure you, this land will be looked over just as much as Konoha will. And there's no way I would let it go to crap with your loss. And I mean, let's be honest, it's not like I'm letting you actually go anyway. So, and I kind of let go and back up. So, we ready?
I chuckle. I'm like, well, Adachi, it seems like Nariba does have some competition after all.
Arada kind of red faces a little bit. It's like, he just doesn't really say anything.
I looked at
Oh, yeah, go ahead, Suiko.
Yeah, sorry. I looked at Canara and I'm like, I know we started off rocky, but I really do appreciate you helping us out with this. I hope we can all make it to the end.
Kianara sort of snorts and she says, yeah, save your thanks for when we all come out of this alive. Thank you.
I give her a big grin. I'm like, you know it.
Hodashi also he just has like this big smile on his face after Izuto's comments. He doesn't say anything though.
And this might again not be logical of me as I kind of look at Sakagiri. How much time do we think we have? And out of that time, do we think we could spare an hour or two?
Sakagiri narrows his eyes. For what?
Well, I'm not even really asking for an hour, maybe less. I believe we kind of owe it to ourselves to, well, have one last group gathering before the mission is fully.
Hodashi nods and he says, yeah, it'll take me about an hour to get everything ready, all the supplies and all the troops, take care of the wounded and stuff like that. I'll attend to that. You Konoha can do your thing. And he heads off.
Yeah, Arada
Canara interrupts. She says, yeah, I'll be headed out here too. I'll need to collect my two little partners in crime and get to Awashi.
Kianara, and I kind of go up to her before she leaves. Well, thank you for one. Please, say, let us. Sorry, hold on. Words. Let Yanada and, well, let them know we're forever thankful. Also, since this might be the last time we see each other, I mean, and it might be the last time you see Yanada. If you have any feeling for him, this would be the time to say so.
Kianara sort of lights up, beet red, and she says, you know, I almost killed you that one time, right? And she sort of steps back and disappears quickly.
Real smooth, Izuto.
I laugh and just go. I am the Cupid of this team.
Self-appointed.
Arada just gives him a weird look.
In any case, Hodashi goes to organize his troops. You gather around with the Konoha, I suppose, and inform them of the mission, what they're expected to do. All of them, varying amounts of fear and, uncertainty, but all of them very confident and determined in the
As
plan
I-
that you can come up with.
As I pass by Sakagiri, can I tell him, you better make it through to the end so I can beat your acid chest for a third time?
Sakagiri says, you know what, if we all make it through this, I'll let you win.
Sounds like a plan.
As we're discussing plan stuff, I would like to, as an aside to Haruto, kind of ask him if there is a something like a good way to keep the eyes that like the Uchiha would know, specifically like so they can kind of keep him safe, or if he'd rather destroy him or whatever he feels, since
Sure.
we can't really do anything with him anyway.
Yeah, he specifically carries around some stuff just in case something like that happens.
That makes a lot of sense.
All Uchiha do. He gives you like a couple of different like little herbs and like little powders that you can add to your mixture that'll make sure that the eyes stay fresh for a long period.
As an aside, it's really weird that that's not a thing in Naruto, even though they all know that like Uchiha's eyes are like this amazing thing. But
Well,
regardless. Yeah.
What? Oh yeah.
In any case, he requests humbly that you keep it with you, and when you guys all get back to the village, give them up to the Uchiha clan where they belong.
Of course, Haruto. Unless one of us has Uchiha on the bloodline. Sorry, just big bad sneeze.
He doesn't.
I'd like to before I go, in my possession I have a decent amount of Ryu. I guess during this time I'd like to knock on this door.
Okay.
Do they want my 50?
A voice calls out and says, "Yes, Hudashi."
One of the Konoha. I'm gonna slip something under the door. I wish you guys the best of luck. I hope this helps in some way. And below the envelope, I'd like to send 2,000 Ryu.
Okay. There's a couple of like light gasps. The door actually opens up as one of the women sort of steps outside, sort of peeking her head out, looking around for a moment, and then seeing you and no, obviously not. You're not being threatening. She says, "Hey, that's very generous, sir. You said that you were one of the Konoha, yes?"
Yes, ma'am.
We didn't mention it to Hodashi, but one of us has been missing for quite a while. If you see her, as you are clearly such a kind sir, maybe you could look after her and try to help her if you can.
And I chuckle a bit and I go, well, and the envelope is, well, if I make it back and I see her, I'll try. But and I chuckle, head behind the, like, scratching my head. But the chances of, well, I guess in short, yes. If I see her, I'll try my hardest to bring her back.
The woman nods and grateful. She says, "All right, just so you know, here's a quick description." And she gives you some physical details. She also gives you a name. However, she makes it clear this isn't the person's actual name; it's just what they knew her as. They were pretty sure it's more of an alias. But in any case, after giving you those physical descriptions and thanking you very profusely, she steps back inside and closes the door.
All right. Well, now that is done with.
Anything Arada or Suiko would like to do before you guys set out?
I mean, hanging with the group, hanging with Nariba, the usual. I don't think anything in particular. I mean, yeah, besides doing the usual rounds of hanging with Nariba, trying to hype Kenji up, but also telling him that, yeah, so and I kind of figured that was the case. I do want to tell Kenji that if he dies, I will resurrect him and kill him again.
No, that's all he said, remember?
Do what? What all did you get that time?
What do you say to Kenji?
To Kenji, I just tell him that if he does fight him and die, I will.
What do you say to Kenji? That's what we missed.
Can you hear me?
Arada.
Oh, I think I might have lost connection completely.
Before you guys set
Oh,
out.
there we go. That one was an actual connection problem. I saw him, I think, that time.
Well,
Um,
what'd you say to Kenji?
yeah, to Kenji, I told him. Yeah, I told him that if he does die in this fight, I will resurrect him and kill him again. So.
Kenji grins and he says, I'm gonna be honest, Arada. I'm gonna let Ares eat you if you die.
Hey, and you know what? That's a deal. I reach out for the little like bro handshake, little dap of kind of thing.
Sure. He pulls you back into a quick man hug and lets you go. Suiko, is there anything that you'd like to do before you guys set out?
No, just kind of chill out here by myself, look to the sky, and go, God damn it, Naruto Uzumaki.
That's really funny.